heart's not really in it. And I think that's kind of where they are right now. And, Brian's seen a lot of these kinds of teams in different cities. Sadly, the only way to dig out of a hole is to keep digging.
Yeah,
It's not pretty. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to see it. But there's nothing to do but just keep working.
Brad, and you're absolutely right, because what happens to you is I always say this, nobody feels sorry for you. Nobody feels bad for you. You kind of look at each other across the room, and Andy Dalton was talking about it in the post game. He says, I need to look at myself too. And, Ezekiel, all these guys need to look at themselves, and they're the only way to pull, themselves out of it is doing their jobs. And I just don't know if there's enough guys really doing their jobs on this football team. I think that's the thing that guys that I felt like that these front office and coaches said, hey, we're hanging our hats on you. You're our guy. And I just don't see that enough from this football team. You could be bad, but if you're a player that they're really relying on and you're not doing the job, that right there tells you a lot about the direction of your team. Am I wrong about that?
I don't think you're wrong, but I do think you're describing one side of the ball.
No, they're bad. They're bad offensively, though. They're bad offensively.
Well, they are. But when you talk about you're the guy now, Zeke Elliott's got to stop fumbling. And
sure.
He had as many fumbles tonight as he ever had in any 1 year before this year. So I don't know what the answer is. It's not that he's not aware of it. He's very much aware of it. He may be trying too hard. But that would be one of those guys. But on the offense, so they said that to Dak. Well, Dak broke his ankle. And they said that to Tyron Smith, and they said that to Lyle Cobb. Well, those guys aren't there. So, okay, I can't blame their woes on Cooper. His numbers, I think, are better than his play, but his numbers are good. And they were tonight. Gallup, who I believe led the league in drops last year, had not had a drop problem this year. I don't know if he dropped two, but that touchdown tonight came. That's what I mean by they're a bad team, and those are the things that happen to bad teams. It takes one play sometimes in the right place to spark a turnaround. And sometimes it's a big hit on defense, or sometimes it's a catch on offense, or a long. I don't know, it was 21-0 or 14-0 when Gallup dropped that ball. But they're looking for some success. If you get some success, then you have a reason to believe in your subconscious that you might have some more. So now they're working. They've lost Zach Martin. They're struggling. And they fight their way down the field. I said it during the broadcast, Brian. There were at least two, and it's along the lines of what Andy Dalton just said. They were 2 or 3 drives where they were moving the ball. It's not like they couldn't move it at all. They were moving the ball, and then they fumbled, and then they fumbled, and then they dropped a wide open touchdown pass. And those are the things that bad teams do. And so there's zero margin for error. But other than, on the offensive side, other than Elliott, can you tell me the guys that would fit in that category that you said that we're hanging our hat on you who didn't play hard?
Well, it's not playing hard. It's not playing well enough. You could say that about Connor Williams. They're not playing. They're not playing well enough at guard. No,
but well, you know what? Babe and I were talking about that after the game. If you had all your starters, then we would be having different conversations probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And you know this. You and I have talked about it. Connor Williams has struggled. And if they had the rest of the pieces of their offensive line, even I'll give you Biotish start. I don't think they have a big problem with that. But if they weren't having these other issues, then we would all be having a big conversation about Connor Williams and what are their options at left guard. But all of a sudden, the fact is Connor Williams is not their problem. I mean, you saw the
Well, you asked me if guys are hanging their hat on, and I gave you an example of one that I believe.
Yeah, yes, and that's fair in terms of him. He was a starter, so yes, that's right. But you can function with what it's not good. It's not like winning championship football. You can function with what he's been doing at left guard, but you can't have it when you've got four other guys in the line doing, or even three, doing the same thing, and now you're fumbling, and now you're dropping balls.
Yeah.
And that's when you're a bad team.
Okay, you're calling it a bad team. Are you calling it a bad team overall? Is that what you're saying? Or are you focusing more on the defense being a bad team then?
Well, no, the whole team is bad right now.
Okay.
Because so far I've talked about Elliott fumbling the ball and Gallup dropping a pass. And, Dalton probably missed a couple. I got a hard time blaming this on Andy Dalton. But as he said, there were a couple of throws he'd like to have back.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, when the team's playing bad, then the team's bad. Now, defensively, they came. I do want to say this. Another one of those back-breaking plays that happens to a bad team is giving up an 80-yard pass in a zone defense.
Yeah.
And I don't see practice, and I don't have the wherewithal to question the personnel decisions that get made. I'll just say I was surprised that they started the game with Anthony Brown on the bench.
Yes.
And Worley
yes.
and Jordan Lewis
yes.
playing in their what amounts for them to their
yes.
base defense. I was surprised by that. They finally got Brown in there and took Worley out. But that's one that makes me scratch my head.
No, and I think you're right about that because if we're sitting here watching the game, why do they allow that to happen? I mean, we watch the game. We see this every week with this guy. We see this every week with this guy, and so I wonder why. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Somebody likes him. I think they probably like him a little less after tonight. And I don't want to say the whole thing's his fault, but when your team is bad, 14-0, you're in the game. 21-0, it's got a whole different feel, especially when your offense is struggling, and then it gets away from you fast. And my biggest concern is that and you've been around teams like this, if they don't have something positive happen, if they don't start digging out of this hole pretty soon, then you get to a place where it's really hard to keep a team motivated, playing well together, and doing all the things that you want them to do.
Well said, Brad. We'll look forward to talking to you next week before the football team game.
Okay, fellas, have a good short week.
You as well. Brad Sham joining us here on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. Cowboys lose 38-10. We're picking up the pieces. Brian Broaddus, Ari Temkin, and you. 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
All right, Cowboy Nation, really appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Let me know if you guys were able to hear them talking about that topic there. And let me know in the comment box because I forgot to check to see if audio was turned on. So give me a thumbs up if you guys were able to hear the voice of the star, the voice of the Cowboys, the play-by-play, Brad Sham. And this is 105.3 The Fan. Check them out. Great content there. Always good to listen in to their different thoughts and their different opinions. Let me know if you guys were able to hear why I built this plane while it's in the air. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. So it's one of those things, man. Cowboys fall to what? 2-4 now. That's our record. Is it 2-4? Let me know if that's correct. Let me know if that's correct. We're 2-4. We number one in our division. Still got to eat the little crow over here because that's what we eat when we lose, right? We eat that little crow, that bird there, and it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. It's not. We are looking at this thing like, dog, can we get some type of an reprieve or some type of positive situation? Now, I posted a post on my Instagram and my Facebook feed, Cowboys, basically. Did we win tonight without Dak Prescott? I know some people say, stupid post, but that's my level of sarcasm. So you got to follow my channel to understand my level of sarcasm. And, a lot of people would never get sarcasm if they're not intellectually inclined. So that's just how it goes, So if they miss the joke within the lining there, then that's on them, not on me, right? Right? Can you guys agree with that? The joke is on them, right? If they can't follow along with sarcasm. But neither here nor there. And I know somebody said, hey, well, we was 1-3 with Dak Prescott. Well, that's not the case nor the scenario. We was in a dogfight. We was in every single solitary game with Dak Prescott under center. Let me know if I'm lying. Whether you call it garbage time or whether you call it something else. We literally was in every fight, in every game, right? Let me know if I'm lying. Post me your thoughts on that because that's the reality of it, Cowboy Nation. Nevertheless, Cowboys, we got to figure this thing out. We do. We got issues and troubles on every phase of the football field. Our $90 million guy playing basketball with the football. and the coaches are trying their best to walk around on like eggshells without giving him the third degree. Now, I do see the people will say, well, the whole team is playing bad. Well, dog it, your person that's getting $90 million shouldn't, right? He should figure out a way to hold on to the ball. And we saw a spark when Tony Pollard got onto the field. And then they moved the ball all the way down the field, and all of a sudden, they put 21 back out there, and we like, hey, me, big game, James Scott Walker. We like, no, because immediately everything shut down. They went to Ezekiel Elliott twice, and then they went to a field goal, right, or something like that, or it was a punt kick or something like that. It's time out for it. I love Ezekiel Elliott. Y'all know I do. Y'all know I love Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm not here to lie to kick it, but somebody is gonna have to sit him down and talk to him, a long conversation on the principles of the fundamentals of football. People got to understand that Michael Jordan, even though he got 6 rings, his coach still chastised him. His coach still pulled him to the side and said, hey, you got to tighten up, fam. The greatest basketball player of all time, one of them, they still had to coach him up. He can't be willing and nilling himself out there without some type of direction. Now, especially, it just feels different when you're getting all of those coins. Let me know if you guys saw D-Law on the stat sheet. And for those who watching, man, if you got 105.3 The Fan, let me know when they're back live so you guys can, hear them as well. And I'm going to see if I can post the link in the community box here. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the network, follow me on multiple platforms. I got harsh opinions, strong opinions at that as well. And I try not to give you guys sugarcoat. I think that you guys get enough sugarcoat throughout the week. I think that you guys get enough of that sugarcoat stuff throughout the week. I'm going to try to cut it down straight and narrow, right down the center, whether it's good or bad. But if you want the sugarcoat stuff, newsflash, you can go to other people's channel. They selling all type of, hey, the sky's made of rainbows. And, hey, that water down your back, hey, that's not piss. That's rain. That's where you want to go, then you guys can go there. But I'm going to give you guys the straight, uncut, raw truth.
Cowboys.
Paul Mills, really appreciate you, man. Do not know our opponents, and we don't study at all. Paul, yes. That sounds like the truth right there. I'm tired of eating this crow over here, Paul. Yeah, appreciate you for your love and adulations and your donations, man, to help penetrate and grow this thing. Really appreciate you all the way. For real, fam. Trey, Jalen, or D-Law. Let me know if y'all seen D-Law.
We do not know our opponents, and we don't study at all.
Yeah, we don't. We flat out don't study. It seems as if, though, we don't.
Is inspired this season, but they're injured. They turn the ball over far too much. They have a bad defense. That's. You'd think they'd be
You're going to
worse
make a
than 2 and
T-shirt
4.
saying that, aren't you? They turn the ball over too much, and they have a bad defense.
It's a turnover issue, bad defense, and you're injured. What else is there to say? They should be worse than 2 and 4. It's a shock they're 2 and 4.
Absolutely.
Given minus 12 in the turnover differential.
Yeah. I was trying to understand with Brad, and the whole thing about the bad football team, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm trying to think of, okay, why, I'm trying to talk about guys that you hang your hat on, that you're relying on, like Zeke, and I don't look at it as one side of the ball. I mean, it's unfortunate that CeeDee Lamb had to drop. Excuse me, not CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup. Because like last week, Michael Gallup was the reason why you won that football game.
Yep.
But, that just shows you, I think, you have to have consistency. I think that's the thing that bothers coaches and front office guys the most. That, you're taught that if you see it one time, you'll see it again. We saw it last week from Michael Gallup. And then all of a sudden he runs. And matter of fact, on the route, if you watch the All-22, he moves. They switch spots. Zeke and Gallup switch spots so he can run the route to get where, so Andy Dalton puts him in a position to make the play, and he doesn't make the play. But, that's the unfortunate. But I just look at this team and I'm like, man, you're relying on a lot of guys to make. But when things are down, you can't afford to have any type of, a drop, a fumble,
a missed call,
right.
a
non-blitz
they
pick,
just have zero margin for error.
A non-blitz pickup, the back. I mean, Pollard's in there and he misses a blitz pickup off the edge, and he's a veteran player. That's my point with Brad and I talking, and I love Brad. I mean, I agree. This team just isn't good enough, but there's players you're hanging your hat on that are letting you down in some spots. I think that's why they're having some problems.
What does that mean? Is that is it an effort thing?
No, it's there's concentration problems you have. That if the coach tells us, oh, it was one of our best weeks of practice.
Yeah, we heard that.
But then you have a blitz pickup miss, and I understand. Hey, Connor McGovern, you've got to know that you could go in the game at right tackle, or excuse me, at right guard. You got to know that. But man, give Arizona some credit. They said, you know what? A, you're not good enough to pick up the blitz. And B, we're going to just keep blitzing you because we know that. So that's a compromising situation, but you've got to overcome that. And those young guys, they've got to, it's a learning opportunity. You say, they're learning and they're losing. No, you don't want to lose and learn.
Yeah.
You want to find a way to have success and learn. And that's
having experience through failure doesn't make you better.
I hate that when it's a learning experience.
Something positive.
No, it's not. It's not. Losing is not a good experience.
Well, I mean, you think about the game that Kyler Murray had. 9 of 24 throwing the football, 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. You're talking about an efficient game. 9 completions. Less than 10 completions for Kyler Murray. He has 2 touchdowns, 188 yards. Oh, by the way, 74 yards rushing and a touchdown.
That to me is the killer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The way he was able to run around and stuff like that. I mean, that you knew going in, you had to almost play a perfect game defensively. You did for the most part with him throwing the ball. They took some shots. They knew. They saw what was going on with the corner situation. I don't know how you don't see, and shame on the Cowboys coaches for, playing guys that they know can't do the job. Maybe we're to that point. Maybe we're to that point now where it's like, okay, we have no choice. We have to play.
12 men on the field, yeah.
We have to play. You have to play Worley. Worley got frozen. They saw it. They knew it. They knew that Diggs has had some problems too playing the deep ball. Teams are going to do that to you.
But they get so married to the guys they have.
I don't know if it's married or they just don't have anybody else.
I mean,
I really don't. That's what you have to figure out.
Prince Amukamara was just was just available, was just picked up by the Arizona Cardinals. Look, is he the answer? I don't know, but Daryl Worley has shown you through 5-6 games that he's not an NFL caliber player.
That's the issue. That's the issue I have, and I'm glad I got to see Connor McGovern play today. I'm done with seeing Worley play. I'm done. There's certain players I'm just done. I'm done seeing them play. And I
with
that's
all due respect to Daryl Worley, he's not an NFL player.
Well, he can't cover.
He can't cover.
So what? And
if he does, he's getting flag. He's either getting toasted or getting a penalty flag on him.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is they keep running him out there like he's going to have some kind of a different result, and it's not. But they watch the practice. They know their players. They know their personnel. They obviously feel like that they got this. They got a handle on this.
Not a game to remember for Ezekiel Elliott. 12 carries, 49 yards for Zeke, 2 fumbles. He did have 8 catches for 31 yards. After the game, here's Zeke Elliott.
What made the Cardinals defense? What did they do that got you guys so frustrated and just kind of off kilter all night?
Honestly, I don't think it really was much of what they did. I think it was me. I'm supposed to be a guy this team can rely on. I'm supposed to be a guy that this team can lean on when times get rough, and I just wasn't that today. I got us started off to a terrible start. Defense they were playing well, but I killed our momentum. 2 fumbles. I can't do that. I can't.
Is there any way to explain, Zeke, why ball security has been such a big issue for you this year?
Honestly, I can't really even I don't know why. I just got to focus up. I got to be better with it.
Did the coaches say anything to you after the second one in terms of staying off the field for a little bit? Did you feel like you were benched, or did they just want to give you a break, or what was going on there?
I mean, one, I'm giving the ball away. I wasn't helping the team, and I think they did the right thing and, gave some of those reps to TP. But I can't do that. I have to be a guy this team can lean on, especially in the times right now, with so many of our starters hurt and not playing. So it's not acceptable, and I need to figure it out.
Are there things you've been trying to do in practice to help figure it out, or have you just kind of tried to do some of the same stuff that you worked on?
Kind of in practice, I've just been focusing in on just kind of keeping it tight and not having it loose. But I don't know. I need to figure something out.
How was the week of practice now that Ford's not out there? Obviously, Andy Dalton's the guy behind center. Was things a little bit different? Did it feel weird, or was it just business as usual?
I think it was business as usual.
Was it difficult emotionally, Zeke, for you guys for it to be the first time not out there with Dak for the full game, or do you think that's not really a factor much anymore?
I don't think we can use that as an excuse. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over. I started the game out with 2 fumbles, gave the ball away, and that gave them all the momentum that they needed to go and take off. I want to say I'm sorry, and this one's on me, and I need to be better for this team.
It's the same thing over and over again. How do you get that out of your head where you just think something bad's going to happen?
Gotta have a short memory. I gotta get that behind me and get some good and play some good ball and get on the roll.
Zeke, have you noticed team defenses are coming after you and trying to poke it out more than they have in the past?
When you're fumbling every game, obviously teams are gonna lock in on it and they're gonna go for it more, and that just is even more reason for me that I need to figure it out, man. I don't want to really keep talking about it, but I got to figure a way to figure it out.
Got to figure a way to figure it out, Brian Broaddus. A lot of questions around Zeke Elliott's fumble issues. 5 in the year now, 2 in this game. I mean, again, turnovers, the story here for the Cowboys, both giving them away and not getting them. And this just continues to be something the Cowboys do year after year after year.
Yeah, the thing that I appreciate about Zeke is he immediately came out and said, "Hey, that's on me."
Yeah,
and we're talking about the players you can hang your hat on.
Yeah,
and he knows that. He knows he has to, with all the things that they're dealing with offensively, with no offensive line, with no Dak, that he has got to be the difference. Their game plan coming in today was to run the football and try and keep Andy Dalton out of some bad situations. Trying to allow, stay ahead of the change, try and keep things going, put some drives together, But when you're fumbling the ball, you're playing it right into the opponent's hands, because now you're putting your defense on the field again. You're giving them short fields in a lot of cases. And, they've proven that they can't stop anybody, defensively once they have a turnover.
Still to come, we'll hear from Amari Cooper, Leighton Vander Esch as well. The Cowboys, 218 points surrendered in 6 games. That is the most since the New York Giants in 1948 gave up 218 points in 6 games. In 1954, the Washington football team, 223, 61 Raiders, 228, and the Baltimore Colts of 1950 with 235. So, in the modern era of football, it's the most points given up by a defense in 6 games. Cowboys certainly on pace for that 1981 Baltimore Colts, 533 points given up in 16 games. Worst defense of all time. Brian Broaddus, Ari Temkin with you. Mike Fisher's next. Dallas Cowboys.
Now, there's no way that they're going to roll out with Mike Nolan next week. There's no way. There need to be a fire. And I'm not trying to let this man be in the unemployment line for, this COVID season. But there need to be a situation where it's a fire, it's a demotion, it's a retirement. We would take that. Look, there got to be a situation whereas, let me see if I can fix this the right way. It got to be a situation where they need to do something. And I know it's the players that are not fully bought into the system and the scheme or the schematics. But let's be real, I don't want to give you guys some sugarcoat stuff. I'm gonna give you guys the real deal right quick. There got to be something, whereas somebody got to be in trouble. Trouble. Because at the end of the day, you can't be the America's team and you rolling that out day in and day out. Now, there was a third of the people that said it was Dak Prescott's fault, right? That it was Dak Prescott is the issue. Dak Prescott is the reasoning for the Cowboys being in their low point. Now, news flash, you can take that out the puzzle, right? You can remove that from your mental Rolodex. You got to look at this thing and say, man, this goes beyond the quarterback. And shout out to you earlier from Eastside Harold, man. Thank you for the donation. I didn't get what your message was, man, but we'll try to repeat it and I'll try to read it up. Jig says, clean house. Hire somebody else. Look, my daughter sing the song, clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody do your share. My daughter sing that song every time when she come clean up her room. And she's only 4. She sing it so perfectly that hell, when she starts singing, I start cleaning up. Let me start picking this up. Let me start folding this away. We need to do something. Shout out to you, Imperfect Homestead. Shout out to you, man. Let's not kid ourselves. Even with Dak, we fighting from behind. Please do not sit here and say, if only we had Dak, that's BS. Well, we would have had at least a fighting chance. We would at least put some money on the board. And we can't talk about those. Now, that was the definition of garbage time touchdown, the last one. And they did everything in their will and their fight and the fortitudes of their mind to give good old Andy Dalton that touchdown. I said it live. But let's not be crazy about this thing. Let's not be crazy about it. There's no way that we would have seen, especially how slow the Cardinals started off. There's no way that you would say in your mind, your hearts of hearts, that Dak Prescott would have looked like that. And I'm not trying to be a Dak Prescott an apologist. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. I try to call everything up and middle, fair and balanced. But, hey, the reality is we got the world's worst defense in 2020. The last time defenses were looking like this was in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s. Not even in the 70s and the 80s, according to the stats that's out there. Let me know if I'm lying. Have we ever seen a defense this bad? Now, we can point the fingers all the time and say it's COVID, but newsflash, the 31 other teams had the exact same situations. But this guy says, hey, we love our guys. Let me pull him up. He said we love our guys, right? And we continuing buying what he's selling. Williams, lawman, is plain to see. It's plain to see. The owners have made millions. Oh, yes, they did. Putting out mediocre real product. Yeah. I mean, look, let me see if they're back live because I want to catch this interview. Let me see.
There's the two.
They're still on commercial break. Somebody hit me up when they're back live. During the course of the last 25 years, we only won, 2 to 3 playoff games? But in the same realm. Follow me now. This guy that I got on the picture has been inducted to the Hall of Fame. This guy that I got at the bottom of my screen also built a $5-point-something billion play plan down there in Arlington. Everybody in Arlington is not happy about it because of the infrastructure. They said, man, can we get some better roads? I'm tired of buying new tires. But he built a stadium out there in Arlington, and we have not been dominant since that stadium been built. On top of that, they built another workout facility in Frisco. It was just a speck out there in Plano and Frisco area 25 years ago. One can argue and say, hey, they didn't even have movable cars out there. They had nothing but horseback rides out there. Get up. Yeah, that's all that was out there in Plano and Frisco. But this guy that I got at the bottom of my screen made billions. And we got nothing to show for it. He done bought him a helipad and a yacht that stretch out longer than the state of Mississippi. But we still buy this man. All of the riches. He's like a bookie. At the end of the day, he getting paid. And all we will hear is saying that, no, he loved his team. He would do anything to get a ring. Newsflash. I'm waiting on that moment. This guy is the downfall for the Dallas Cowboys. We can look at the 3 Super Bowls and be happy about it, but real talk, in the hearts of hearts, we know how we got those 3 Super Bowls. Nothing to do with him technically. I digress. Shout out to Jerry Wayne because he give me a phone call tomorrow. I'll say, yeah, man, what's up, man? I was just lying to kick it, man. I'm just messing with y'all.
And they end up losing the game. But you don't fall behind by double digits every single game at home. And just, we just ran into a little tough luck.
Get Jerry.
You're a clown show. This team last week lined up on special teams 3 times with the wrong number of men on the field. Bones Fossil swore that'll never happen again. And it happened like a couple minutes into the game tonight. And I'm having a great debate with on Twitter at Fish Sports with Jeffrey Kavanaugh and others about, what about Garrett? This has nothing to do with Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett hasn't been here for 10 months. This has to do with, this is Mike McCarthy's program. This isn't Jason Garrett's program. This is also Mike McCarthy's players. These aren't Jason Garrett's players. They're McCarthy's players. And the series of mistakes and the inability and the disconnect between this coaching staff and especially these guys on defense, boys, Brian Broaddus, you and I have talked about this. We now have 3 coaches. One of them, a source of mine. Another one, Dave Wanstead on TV. Another one, Jimmy Johnson on TV, saying the defensive players don't know what they're supposed to do. That's coaching. And as I said to Jeffrey tonight, what I know about Mike McCarthy that tells me, I guess he's a good coach, is he won a Super Bowl. I don't care. I don't care if you won a Super Bowl. Not because tonight, today, you were a bad coach. The Cowboys coaching staff today is a bad coaching staff.
Get him, Mike. Get him, Mike.
And bad
Fisher.
pupils.
So, but you're saying then when you say a clown show, are you talking about the entire organization?
Oh, I think everybody from top to bottom should be reflecting on what Amari Cooper said. Amari Cooper, by the way, has a way of telling the truth, a deep truth. And somebody asked him, do you feel fortunate to be in first place? And he said, no, because fortune is about winning. And we don't have any fortune. And so, I would call on Jerry and Steven, who will be with us on the radio this week a couple of times, to not say that everything's fine. And I know there's a salesmanship aspect to that, and I know there's an optimism
to
that.
Fish.
That's part of the Jones family's DNA. But everything is not fine.
It is a disorganized, disjointed, questioning themselves. Listen, Ezekiel Elliott, he doesn't need a running backs coach. He needs a psychologist. He's got the yips. After the 2 fumbles, Brian, you'll remember the play where he's running left, and he's carrying the ball in the wrong hand.
Wrong hand.
And with nobody really near him, he decides to run out of bounds, knowing if I get hit, I'm going to fumble again. McCarthy, by the way, after the game, said 2 things that I found outlandish. One is he said, well, maybe we're emphasizing ball protection so much, maybe we're just coaching them too hard.
Classic overcoaching line. Classic overcoaching line.
Oh, my gosh. It's like a humble brag. Hey, I'm such a good coach that I'm overdoing it with them. And then the other one was, and listen, I don't know how much, and I there's plenty of things about Mike McCarthy that I like, especially when they won a game.
Well, I was going to ask you if you thought it was a bad hire. The way you're talking right now, you're saying this is a complete disaster. The way you're talking.
Let's get it out.
If you paid $5 million, is this what you're expecting? Forget the injuries.
Well, by the way, too, and Garrett, we talk about this roster, though. The Garrett did have something to do with this roster. So you can't totally, but we've all said it's one of the most talented rosters we've ever seen, right?
There you go. He had something to do with the roster. Except now that they're not good, we say it's a bad roster. But I thought everybody, including Mike McCarthy, thought it was a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the injuries have been devastating, and there's no way around that. But again, I don't want to have this devolve into a Garrett debate. But
no, I'm not going to debate you on Garrett.
Okay.
No.
They had, this isn't the first year in the last 11 years they've had injuries. And they've had injuries before, and they've lost games before. But not 38-10 at home when they can't figure out how many guys belong on the field. They've never had that before. They've never had 4 too many men or not enough men on the field penalties in 5 consecutive quarters. That's never happened before in football history.
Get them, Fish. Get them.
Today, it's a bad hire. Maybe next Sunday it won't be so bad. But today, there's nothing about this that's working.
Yeah,
including, by the way, let me say, Brian, the other statement that McCarthy makes habitually, which if I'm a Cowboy fan, I find really irritating.
The practiced well?
It's the big lie.
Yeah.
We practiced. Boy, we had our best week of practice. Coach, you did not. First of all, you've been saying that for 5 weeks. Number one. Number two, Terry Poe and Darryl Worley and whoever you're putting out there and the other safety did not have a good week of practice. They did not. And furthermore, the inability of Ed Dalton, timing-wise, to find guys even on 3-yard passes demonstrates to me that they weren't doing great things on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then forgot on Monday. They weren't doing good things on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday either. So let's quit eating up and slurping up and buying into the big lie, because that's what it is.
Thank you, Fish.
Get out the way, Bird. Get out the way,
Mike Fisher
Bird.
joining us here on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. More to come, including thoughts from Amari Cooper, Leighton Vander Esch, and you. 877-881-1053 with Brian Broaddus. I am Amari Temkin. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, my goodness. Fish got him. Fish got him. Hey, I can tell you one thing. Bird, get out the way. That damn Bird. I'm going to tell you one thing. These players going to be looking at Fish like, dog, I heard you. Because they so soft. They listen to everything. They listen. They turning in right now saying, oh, they talking about me. They retweeted about me. And how we should feel, Cowboy Nation, as fans, we have no control of the outcome. Just our raw emotions and passions out there. And we root for this team. We love this team from the womb to the tomb. We will fight for this team, and we get this as a result, as this is their answer right now. Oh, my goodness. Fish, I can't wait for this week to hear Jerry Wayne Jones. Look, I want you guys to grab him and hold him, and just squeeze him, make him pay, just squeeze him. Erica, really appreciate you. RD, let me see if I can read that right quick. RD played well until let me see if I can get this thing right here. Let's see. Yeah, let me see. There we go. Yeah. Let's see if we can get that going. Yeah. Our D played well until our offense started giving the ball away again. Yeah, you 1,000% right, Erica. Yes, Law. Let's be real. This team defense, even with Dak, we had no business in the playoff. Jerry needs to stop and focus and getting better with the draft pick. Why make the playoff and get embarrassed? Well, we do play to win the game. And it just so happened that Jerry Wayne Jones, he get an extra motive. When you go to the playoff, you get more what? Revenue dollars. You get more TV time. You get more this. You get more jersey sales. You get all of the expectations. That goes a long way. He still got bills to be paid around here. So that's why he want to go to the playoffs.
Let's not kid ourselves.
There we go.
Even with Doc, we fight from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't sit there and say, if only we had Doc. That's BS.
Mm-hmm. I found I had
Lawman, it's plain to see. The owner has made millions putting a mediocre product on the field for 25 years now. The players know mediocre gets you paid in Dallas. SMH. RD played well until our offense started giving the ball away again. 24 tonight. JJ needs to acquire some players. FS. We get number 94 back next week. Get an all-pro FS Erlin trade for an impact ET. Let's be real with this team's defense. Even with Doc, we have no business in the playoffs. Jerry needs to stop and focus on getting a better draft pick. Why make the playoffs to get embarrassed?
All right. Shout out to my AI. She was late, but she read it. You know, my hooked on phonics AI. She helped me out with that one. Real talk. Let's go. It's still on commercial. Appreciate you, man, for telling me. All right, so it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. Let me see if I can play some more. Come on, AI. Come on, play it.
Bahama, it's draft season. Law, I want a 2021 draft class free safety film study on my desk by Wednesday.
Right. I'm going to try to see what I can do, man. Bahama. Yeah. I'm going to try to get it going, man. Come on, AI. You not finished. Come on. Read the next one. Read the next one. Read the next one. Let me see if I can find out. Where she at? Come on. Wake up. Even she ain't giving it 100%. What percentage? Y'all post down below. What percentage this AI is giving us, man? What's she giving us about what? 65%? Oh, I know what she give.
I'd rather see Duncanville play the rest of the season. They'd put up a better fight against these teams.
Yeah, that's Fresh Prince, man. 512, man. Really appreciate you. She giving about 25%, right? She ain't reading it like she's supposed to. You know, she giving it about 25%. Let me hurry up and go for that bird show.
AT&T.
Yeah, that is still on commercial break. So, yeah, she giving it about 25%, man. I really appreciate the love and adulations, the donations to help elevate the nation, man. I really appreciate you all. 2 fumbles. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Mike Fisher, he putting his foot in the you-know-what down there. I love it. I love the energy. I hope that he keep the same energy through the week when he bump into these players or when he bump into Jerry Wayne and things, because we definitely do need to see something happen with this team. And maybe it can be motivating through the media. Maybe it got to be that.
Cowboys.
Yeah, maybe it can be that right there. Let me pause it. They finna jump live now. All right, so really appreciate everybody that's tuning in. My name is Law Nation, LAW Nation. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content, let that friend, neighbor, folk know where to go when they want to tune in to the post-game show. Let's go.
Well, I had to wait all game for it, but you get it, a touchdown and your drive of the game. Brought to you by Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. 18 plays, 75 yards, 6:06 off the clock. Got the Cowboys to within 21, 31-10. And then the Cardinals scored again and made it 38-10.
You think the Cardinals scored because you were using your timeouts at the end of the game?
Yes. Yeah, Mike McCarthy had not seen enough of this game.
Yeah.
Down 31-10. He's like, let's call. I've got these timeouts. I haven't seen enough. Yeah. Might as well use them.
Yeah. No, it's the we're not gonna go away here quietly thing when you should just gone away quietly.
Just gone away quietly.
Yeah. I always wonder about that. You know, I've been on both ends of that, where you get a coach that keeps using timeouts,
right?
You know, and you're getting killed, and you're like, just coach, please. Let's load up.
Let the game die.
Yeah, let's load up and go home. We'll try and figure some things out. But I guarantee you that run, they kept running the ball and you knew something like that was going to happen.
877-881-1053. We're going to get to your phone calls and your texts. 877-881-1053. And the question that we've been sort of talking about, going over, is the coaching and how much coaching factors into this 2-4 sandwich that the Cowboys have here. I don't know what else to call it. Just 2-4. I mean, it
wasn't a 40 burger tonight.
No, again, like this 2-4 doesn't even tell you how bad this team has looked after 6 weeks. Like, it really is astonishing to me that they have 2 wins.
Well, Dak Prescott has been the great deodorant, is what he is. I mean, you got to give him a lot of credit. You really do.
I mean, is this the best paid Dak? I mean, are we about to watch the next 12 weeks of the season of paid Dak Prescott?
What if you don't win another game? You don't win another game. What if you don't win another game? I know you got the football team coming up, and the Eagles will probably on a Sunday night are going to take you to task. I mean, like I keep saying, they played the Ravens and the Steelers well. I don't know if you could do that. But if they don't, you're going to be in a situation where if you don't win many games, are you going to say, okay, we'll just move on and draft a quarterback? I know that's difficult to say, but it might be, you're saying, well, the $40 million, we can maybe do some other things with it. Now, fans out there will say, well, heck, Broadus, you gave money to a linebacker that struggled, Right. You gave money to a running back that struggled.
Right.
Who's to say they'll go spend the money in the right way? That's the issue when you walk away. If you walk away from Prescott, you better have a suitable plan.
If you're Jerry, Brian, what are you doing? I mean, because it seems
there's going to be an organization that's not going to pay a quarterback $40 million. There is going to be one. And it's going to be an organization where their general manager is not going to get fired. And to everybody's dismay, this general manager is not going anywhere. And, the family's going to stay in there. And there's several football families around the league that, that they have their family run business. The Cincinnati Bengals are one that people say, well, heck, Broadus, look what the Bengals, look what they are. We're the Bengals now. The Raiders used to be that way. Man, they got Mike Mayock now. A little bit better, but that's the thing. I think there is going to be an organization that is going to say we're not going to pay the quarterback 40, and it might not be this one. This organization might get it done, but there's going to be somebody one day that trusts themselves and say we're not going to do this. We just can't. We can't outlay that much money to one position.
The football team did it with Kirk Cousins, right?
And they've been struggling. Well, I should take that back because with Smith as their quarterback, they were 6-2 until he got hurt. So,
and it's not like Kirk Cousins looks like he's the answer in Minnesota.
No.
Is Dak Prescott a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins?
Oh, yes, he is.
I agree.
Yeah, he is. Oh, yeah. The thing about it is, I just kind of feel like though that by not getting this done, you've set yourself up to have to make a very, very difficult decision. And that guy, I said it just a second ago. He's the great deodorant.
Who did it hurt more in negotiations not getting a deal done based on what's happened this season?
Jerry.
Oh, I think it hurt the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think it has because, you want your quarterback to be tied up.
Right.
This is something that there's folks out there will tell you they should have done this 2 years ago. The reason why, and I've said this before, I was talking to people in Philadelphia. The reason why they extended Carson Wentz is they were afraid 2 years ago you were going to give Dak Prescott $40 million. Well, guess what? They're right. You're going to have to give Dak Prescott $40 million. So that's the difficult thing. You should have been a little bit more diligent on saying, okay, where's this going to go? But if they don't believe in the guy, they keep saying they believe in the guy. But man, today gives you a great example of all the things that he overcomes, or he allows you to overcome because of his play.
And at this point, if you are looking at the draft, there's 3 first-round picks at quarterback, arguably 3 top 10 picks at quarterback in Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Trey Lance from North Dakota State. And then Kyle Trask, Mac Jones could maybe play his way to the conversation.
Yeah, the kid at Iowa State you cover.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Purdy.
There's going to be somebody we're not thinking about right now.
There's going to be somebody.
But there's a lot of really good college football fans out there that can give you a name or two. But it always happens. Joe Burrow came from, all of a sudden, by this time, we were learning who Joe Burrow was.
Yep. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Yeah. So they go to the commercial break right quick. Yeah, it's a difficult situation because on one end, you're going to have to really think about, do you pay Dak Prescott $40 million, right? Or on the other end, from a business aspect, do you let him walk, or do you do the franchise tag of $37 million, whatever the rate will be, and see where we can kick this thing off again? Or do you go out there or do you do the tag and trade situation? That's always crass to me, but that's just how it goes. Or do you get in the draft and you say, well, let me find the best quarterback possible? Now, I do know I see a lot of people with the Trevor Lawrence. Shout out to the Lawrence. That's a cold last name, what have you. But it's one of those situations where knowing the Cowboys, we pick Law up, Trevor Lawrence up, and it's Justin Fields that would show up, right? And if we pick Justin Fields, it will be Trevor Lawrence that shows his ass off. So we in that type of situation, Cowboy Nation. Or would the Cowboys do this? We need a left tackle. Tyron Smith? He's done, right? He's like, one of those situations where he's going to get injured. And then we never know the mental capacity of La'el Collins. It's crazy. Let me see if they back on.
It's hurt us. But Jerry Jones has got big shoulders. This is on him. This is on Steven. It's on Mike McCarthy.
Well, I don't think there's any question they have continually.
But it's on the players too. And we could talk about the injuries and stuff like that, but you need guys to step up. You really do.
But this organization has completely this
year they did.
On the defensive side of the football, they have misevaluated in so many, and not just this year. I mean, for multiple years, they've done nothing to invest at safety. For multiple years, they've put draft capital in corner, but they have not invested money there. They have not invested money properly on the defensive side of the football. You could argue, obviously, with paying Jalen Smith, not playing Byron Jones. It's not equal money there, but these are all factors and important decisions that get made. They have completely misevaluated the defensive side of the football in terms of the draft, in terms of how they're divvying up the salary cap.
Yeah, I would say a guy that I would look at that I would say a positive is a guy like Joe Thomas. To me, is a positive guy. But
Alden Smith
hadn't played in 5 years.
The one thing Will McClay and this front office can do is find guys off the street and turn them into credible players.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Robert Quinn last year,
exactly.
Right.
They made a trade. They gave up a 6th round that turned into a 5th round for 11.5 sack guy,
and they're going to end up with probably a 3rd round compensatory pick next year for him.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the issue that I have. That you're
talking about misevaluation.
Well, I'm just saying though that
totally.
you go from 1 year to being really good at it to the next year thinking, okay, this is going to work, this is going to work, this is going to work, and then you roll snake eyes. Craps, you're out, kind of a thing. And that's and being a former pro personnel guy, that's the tough aspect of it. When you're thinking, man, we're on a little bit of a roll, we're getting the right guys, and then you watch Worley is no help to them right now. Right. They thought that Worley was going to be a help as a veteran corner. He's not.
Yeah. And the thing I think that's most disappointing is
you
have multiple opportunities throughout this offseason to do something, especially as it gets closer to the season, to do something to upgrade your defense, to get different guys in there. And it was just like guys are available even up until last week, and we like the guys we have. And that's, I think, the most disconcerting part. That's where a lot of fans are like, Adam, it's like, don't keep telling me you like the guys you have when I'm turning on the TV and watching them miss tackles and interceptions and misplays all game long,
or just not cover well enough. Yeah, you're right. But this is a franchise problem. This isn't just not the players. This is a franchise problem, and the general manager and the director of player personnel.
They don't have football guys.
They have to take a big look at themselves and say, hey, I've asked Stephen Jones this question. You feel like you've helped your team, and he says yes. But what is he going to say? No, Brian, I don't feel like I have. But honestly, when he sits down and watches the tape, he's going to feel like, man, we didn't help our football team in a lot of areas.
More of your phone calls coming up, your texts, plus Amari Cooper and Leighton Vander Esch as we continue to push forward. Dallas Cowboys football will continue.
Yeah, it's one of those crazy things, Cowboy Nation. It is. It's flat out. I don't know how we can look at this any other way. Demetria, really appreciate you for updating your deal to Elite member. Really appreciate you. We got some behind-the-scene actions there. And there should be some more behind-the-scene actions a little later on today or tonight or tomorrow, something like that. We will have that out there for the world to see. But my thing is, Cowboy Nation, we falling into that same trap over and over again. Moving the furniture around on the Titanic. Nothing changing. Nothing changing. But we do know who the issue is, but he's untouchable. He owns the team. He built this particular stadium, right? There's no way we can get around it. And, of course, when we do win, we do give him his flowers, right? But the problem is, Cowboy Nation, is that we're in this situation because they are stupid. They are stubborn. They have all type of situations to say, we love our guys, when we can be sitting down on our couches and our chairs, and we can be looking out saying, hey, go get this guy. I'm quite sure in a crazy different world, even if Buda Baker was available, let's just use that as an analogy. They would say, man, we can't afford to pay him. We can't afford to pay him. What did Buda Baker do today? He had an interception, forcing all types of stuff at the LOS, making all type of plays, batting balls down, punching the ball out, forcing fumbles or what have you. But they valued their safety. They drafted him. They valued him. Cowboys, we'll look at the situation and say, we can find somebody off the streets. I'm saying like old country streets to do that, right? Let me see if my AI can pick this up. Yeah.
Playoffs. Playoffs. I just hope we can win a game in another game.
You're right. Yeah. Shout out to you, William. Appreciate you for the donation to help grow this thing. What would you say? Let me see if I can read it. Law, would you say the Joneses are back to a seriously meddling
Jerry
in the draft?
will not be popping bottles tonight.
Which one? Who said that one? Come on, AI, get it together. Or did Will McClay fail to bump his head and he didn't hear about it? My thing is the angle with the Will McClay situation. Don't give me the job without the title. And I got to put that out there. Don't give me the responsibilities without the pay, basically. Or don't give me the job without the title, is what Will McClay is. He's the glorified, quote-unquote, general manager.
Law, would you say that Jones are back to seriously meddling with the draft?
Mm-hmm.
Or did Will McClay fall and bump his head and I didn't hear about it?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
83 points off turnovers, 24 points tonight if we stop turning the ball over, and JJ overrides everyone and signs Earl. Number 94 is back, and sign David Irving and trade for a really good DT or OT and we'll be fine.
That's a lot of optimism there. Who said that? Erica? That's a lot of optimism. It's a lot. That's a lot of optimism. This is Stephen Jones' team. And the reason why I lumped Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones in the same boat is because Jerry Jones is enabling Stephen Jones, if that makes any sense. And to me personally, Erica, I think that there's so much pride where they want to say, I'm the one that done it. I'm the one that built this team. They want it so bad to come out here and say, this is what we've done. So I just don't ever think that this thing will ever turn around with those two running and operating and wanting to be somebody that they're not. They're not football guys. I promise you, they're not football guys. They're not. Repeat after me.
A tough loss, but it's on Sunday, bruh.
Shout out to you, man. Let me see if I can post this thing up. Yeah, there we go. Who's that? Burgundy. Yeah. Yeah, let me see if they're back live. Really appreciate your love and adulations, man. Let me see if they're back live. But those guys, those Joneses are not football guys. They're not.
Miller time.
They are flat out not football guys. They marketing guys. They are bookies. They winning. They eating off the fat of the land. Right now, the loss, how we feel right now, is nothing to them. It's nothing to them to go get some Johnny Walker Blue. It's nothing to them to get in their helipad and fly off around the world. It's nothing to them to get into their $1 billion yacht, or whatever it is, $250 million yacht. It's nothing for them to go out there and wake up next day and say, hey, we like our guys. It's nothing to them to go out there and say, hey, we okay. We got this thing all in the right affairs. It's nothing for them to have a 2 or 3 episodes to pump out all of this stuff and be leading in every media outlet. It's nothing for them to do that. But the way we feel, when we lose, we don't turn on ESPN, we don't turn on NFL Network. How I feel, I don't turn on Fox. I bury myself into a box because I hate losing. I'm figuring it out. If I'm going into that locker room, I'm looking everybody in their eyes. So what the F you smiling for? Sit down, shut up. You might learn something. You might figure out something. Stop all of the smiling. I will put a mandatory ban on everybody's Twitter page, everybody's Instagram page. If I see one tweet, you're not playing. I don't care who you are. Tweet one thing one time. That's me as coach. But see, they don't get that flavor. It's all sunshines and rainbows. They accept these losses around here. They comfortable with losing. They don't feel the way we feel. But me, boy, I'm looking at everybody in the face. And if the owners are saying that this guy is psychotic, then we need this stuff. Because we are so comfortable with our losses. We're so easy with losing. I don't want to lose. I don't want to pull up on the film and I don't care if it's the last play of the series or the drive. And I see number 41 running the ball on my field, on my, I'm trying to cut it out the curse, but on my territory. Not in my watch, baby. They talking about leaving, going home to their wives and kids? No, we back out there on the field. Coach, why I can't leave right now? Y'all, did you win today? I'm looking at everybody in their eyes. We're not leaving off of this field. You see that scoreboard up there? It's 2020. And the last time a defense gave up this much was in the 40s and the 50s. I can't leave like that, Cowboy Nation. These guys are soft and cottontail
all
tissue.
the time. That's the biggest issue. Is that communication?
I don't know what that is. That's horrendous. You have no chance of being successful.
That's where I see more of the problems. When you look at some of the routes, like the route today that, the crossing routes and stuff like that, they just get big play, and the guys are just wide open. You're thinking, okay, someone's got to be there to carry that guy, or somebody's got to be there to pick that guy up, and. I thought with Van Der Esch things would be a little bit different. I thought earlier it was, but he's just one guy. But I think they're asking him. Like I said, when you're asking cornerbacks to cover that aren't capable of covering, is that on the coach, or is that on the players, or is that on the personnel department?
If this team were running the exact same scheme they ran last year defensively, would they be better off?
You know what? I felt like that they didn't give up as many big plays as I worry. I worry about the changes that you make, and people will say because of the pandemic, but there's teams out there that are in the same boat.
Right. You knew you knew what you had.
Yeah, you knew you had to be better teachers. You knew you had to be. You knew you had to be able to get your message across. And maybe this is a team that needed the practice. Maybe they needed the OTAs. Maybe they needed to make the mistakes in those things.
It's one thing to do an overcomplicated defense. It's another thing entirely to do that when you don't have OTAs.
I've seen Rob Ryan's administration, that defense, with 10 men on the field, 12 men on the field, exotic coverages, blitzes, and all that, and just and look just as bad. So sometimes they talked about simplifying things, and I don't know if necessarily that's the best thing, but you've got to think about, okay, if I've got this guy on the field, I know I can't do this, or I have to do this, or I have to protect this guy in this way.
Well, I mean, there was just so much talk throughout this offseason about being so multiple on defense, and you're looking at this personnel thinking, okay, I don't know.
Well, a lot of it can be personnel too.
It's asking guys to do things that they're not capable of doing.
Yeah, that maybe they're just not good enough players.
Yeah,
maybe they're just not
Brian.
good
Get
enough
'em.
players, and I think that's the biggest issue right now. That there's guys on that field that just are letting you down because they're just not good enough.
Well, and this was a team that was built to win on offense. It kind of came down to, how can this defense just not be terrible? And I think the answer here is the defense is terrible.
They get put in a lot of bad spots, too.
Right.
By the offense, it's not supposed to be terrible.
Right. 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. Let's talk with Morris in DeSoto. Go ahead, Morris. You're on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show.
Hey, real quick, let me just make a few quick points, man. This starts from the head down. If you look, this has been a domino effect, and the biggest domino effect of it all was this. When you didn't bring in any receivers a year ago to 2 years, you had to pay Cooper. You had to give away a second-round pick that gave us Tristan Hill. Then you had to give him a lot of money, and you went in with no receivers. But the biggest mistake they ever made was J.J. Watt. That was the biggest miss. And look at the domino effect that you have brought in since him. Robert Quinn,
T.J. Watt,
Aldis Smith,
you meant T.J.
Everson Griffin, paying DeMarcus Lawrence, giving them all that money, and some of that stems from not picking the right players on the defensive side of the ball. This is just a horribly ran organization from the football aspect. Business wise, great. Footballs, Brian Broaddus, what I respect about you, man, is somebody got to tell the truth about this situation.
All right, Morris. Morris, let me ask you a question while I have you on the air, okay? You there? Morris,
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Man, at the time, you thought they needed to pay Lawrence, didn't you? I mean, to be honest with yourself, right? You after coming off that year, you deep down in your heart, I guarantee you were calling me on DallasCowboys.com. You were reaching out to me one way or another, and you were telling me, you got to sign this guy, Broaddus. You got to sign him.
Let me just say this. Just like if you on E, you got to put gas in your car. You had to sign because you didn't have anyone else. But that's what I'm saying. If you draft, but you will not be put in a position where you have to sign him to a contract for so much money. Yeah, he produced, but because when you missed on J.J. Watt, look at the domino.
T.J. Watt, Morris.
T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Look at the domino effect that it caused.
Yeah, I mean,
were you not paying DeMarcus Lawrence? It's a simple question.
No, he did. He said yes. He said yes.
TJ would have.
I would pay him because he's a good player, but I'm saying this, man. I even look at Cooper, great player. But look, you gave up a second-round pick, and the reason you had to do it because you went in with a quarterback with no receivers. So what you had to do is you had to give up a first-round pick.
Yeah,
that gave you basically Tristan Hill. Then you paid Cooper a lot of money at the wide receiver slot, which took away money that you could have allocated to other places to fill a lot of gaps. They have no defensive tackles, man.
All right, let me ask you this, Morris, real quick. Morris, you paying Dak or you paying everybody else? What are you doing?
Paying Dak because it was $22 million at the time.
Because you'll see this year, man, the dude's intangibles and what he do
to
uplift that team is immeasurable. It's not costing dollars. The dude can play, and he's a fourth-round pick, man. You pay that dude.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, because at the time it was $22 million. Yeah,
but see, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not sure you are.
No. I like his opinion.
Oh, okay.
I'm with. I appreciate his passion.
And 18.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Though you're gonna you pay Dak, and you got to be ready for what else can you afford? Is it going to be about drafting? Is it gonna be who can you sign? But he's not wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he's not wrong. But but
there's domino effects in every move you make or don't
absolutely, there are domino effects.
Yeah,
absolutely, there are domino effects.
I wouldn't look. The Amari Cooper contract is one they can get out of after next season, right? I mean, I don't think the Amari Cooper contract's that bad. And again, you're signing him given the context of the situation. Same with DeMarcus Lawrence. The issue is they misevaluated on defense and have not invested enough in their secondary, especially at the safety position.
See, that's the thing about it is CeeDee Lamb is sitting there 17th pick overall. And if you'd have known that, you probably wouldn't have signed him. But you also had Michael Gallup here. You also had Cedric Wilson too. Noah Brown was. I mean, you had guys. So maybe they all of a sudden guys are coming up and you're like, oh, you paid him and you paid him and you pay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So appreciate the call though, Morse.
But I
love the passion.
I'm still trying to figure out if you're paying Dak Prescott.
Man,
$40 million.
Let me break it down.
What?
Let me break it down and turn them off a little bit. It would not be $40 million if you would have paid him 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It would have been $22 to $25 million.
Yeah. And then you can franchise tag him, and if you want to move along, or you could sit there and say, we're going to draft a quarterback.
After watching this team in this game, a top 5 pick doesn't seem like it's out of the question.
Yeah. I mean, again, you got the football team next week you're playing, and they're just as bad. Philadelphia, I don't think Philadelphia's terrible. I mean, their record isn't great, but they look competitive to me in those games. Against good competition. You can't be competitive against the Arizona Cardinals.
Cowboys lose 38-10. It wasn't even that close. They're -4 in the turnover ratio in this game, -12 overall, and they've given up 218 points in 6 games. That's 36.3 points per game. That is bad. Cowboys are 2-4 as a result. We're taking your phone calls at 877-881-1053. Plus, we'll hear from Amari Cooper and Leighton Vander Esch. All on the way. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
All right, they're finna go to commercial break, but here's the problem, though, Cowboy Nation. They would have been able, and let me know whenever they get back live, Cowboy Nation. But here's the situation. You would not have to pay Dak Prescott $40 million. Matter of fact, you wouldn't have had to pay him 32 or 31, whatever the tag he got this year. If you would have went on ahead after the right before the 2018 season start, you pin him down in the locker room and you say, hey, here's a $25 million contract. He would not turn that over, especially coming out of the 2017 season. You started the negotiation then. By them waiting, the price tag just went up. At the end of 2018, the price tag went sky high up. But you paid a man after that. After the 2017 season, you had a 13-3 season, you had a 9-7. Even if you say, okay, even if you couldn't come to terms or to an agreement then you could have waited. And after the 2018 season, you went 13-3, 9-7, and then you went 10-6. You pay the man. You pay him because out there on the street, you're not getting nothing else better. You tried to be greedy. The Cowboys tried to get greedy with the situation. The guy betted on himself. He had no choice. When people say that, in 2000 this year 2020, he had no choice. Oh my goodness! Dak Prescott said at the beginning, at the midway between 2019, I don't talk contracts during the season. I'm only focused on the game. I'm gonna let my dogs do all of the work. He's talking about his agency. But at the end of 2019, you had no choice but to give him the north of the 32 or the 35 million then. Now look at what you got to do now. It's 40 million or you're going to let him walk. And if you really, really, really sitting in the middle of the road with that, the best thing and the wisest choice, if you have a shot of a doubt, small doubt, then you don't put him on that type of tag. You let him test the market, see what he can get from the open market, and then you'll say, I'll match it. But the worst thing of the worst, you can get 2 first-round draft picks out of the situation. We won't even be discussing this right now. That's how you handle business. You move the emotions out of it. You get your personal feelings out of it, and you had 2 first-round draft picks, or you put a 10 to a first and a third, whatever it may be. I guarantee you somebody would have jumped to that bait. The coach looking at it like, hey, when all of this conversation was going on, you guys know me, Mark Holmes, all of the dogs that were talking about Dak Prescott, we were saying, hey. And I stayed on my stance. And good thing about me, you can go back and watch all of my videos. Matter of fact, the video that I said, hey, Dak Prescott shouldn't play under the franchise tag just because of these principles right here, you can get hurt. Let me know if I'm lying, Cowboy Nation. I can go back and rewind and show you guys the video. I said, what happened if week 3 or week 4 if you go down, huh? He shouldn't play under the franchise tag. And I know this, people will say, hey, he's being greedy. But I'm not finna go to my job and get paid $20 less an hour. No. When I know for sure I got a degree in economics, and I know for sure I graduated top of my class and my business administration degree, I'm not finna take dog food. You better pay me like you paying everybody else. I stand on my resume and I stand on my body of work. You pay me my money. You pay me my coins. You're not finna underpay law. No. I'm begging. I'm not begging for my situation because I know that I already proved it. I already worked the grind axe. I already worked my time. That's the reality. That's business. You can't underpay me. You can't pay me. No. I go somewhere else. But the difference is in the NFL, they got these things called franchise tags where they can lock you in. Oh, I digress. That's just the reality of it. Cowboy Nation. T. Crawford, Duntara, My Forte 06, Sean Lee, Worley, Jordan Lewis, Darian Thompson, Xavier Woods, all have to go next period. Yeah, you're right. You're flat out right. Pay me. They're still on commercial break, Cowboy Nation. They are. All right, so I hope Dak realized that this is a franchise headed nowhere and leave Dallas. This is from Aaron Warren. Yeah. Christopher Settle says facts. Yeah. And trust me, that's just the nature of business. And I said earlier today, you can go buy any car in any car lot in the world. The moment you start that car up and drive off the lot, the value just went down. The value went down. And then on top of that, look at somebody said, show the video, Law. Yeah, I'm going to have to show the video. I'm definitely going to have to show the video. Matter of fact, I might pull it up live right now.
Oh, a lot of putts and then fumbles and touchdowns.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. I'm always trying to, I'm to this point. It's funny. I'm having discussions with folks on the text.
877-881-1053.
Yeah.
Hop on in.
Yeah, I'm having some discussions with them.
What's the consensus there?
Oh no, the blame is, to me, it's low hanging fruit always because it's the Jerry Jones.
Right,
sure,
it's an organizational indictment.
It is, and that's what I keep saying. But folks, that's not going to change. I don't, put it this way, I don't see that changing anytime soon.
No.
I mean, I don't see the leadership changing anytime soon. So if that's your main argument, then that you're stuck on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, hey, there's some decisions they made that are really good. Drafting Dak Prescott in the 4th round is a great decision. Passing on T.J. Watt for Taco is a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
You can go through the history of a lot of clubs.
Drafting Zach Martin, good decision.
Great decision, not Johnny Manziel.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys have had a lot more hits, especially early in the draft, than misses.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot more than you can say for a lot of other organizations.
It's still not an excuse though.
Right.
I mean, it's still not giving them, a pass.
Well, I mean, it's offensively, this team is loaded and they have the draft to thank for it.
They do.
Mm-hmm. Defensively, this team has misevaluated the draft.
That's where I think the big issue is right now. Absolutely. I think offensively you would be you're pleased what you have. CeeDee Lamb, he looks like, even giving up a 1 for Amari Cooper, it was the 6th pick of the draft. Your draft board was stretched that year to probably 20, 18 maybe names.
In your playoff team with him, that's like I hate that people rewrite history here with this Amari Cooper trade. It was not a bad trade.
Not a bad trade.
It wasn't a bad trade.
Initially when you lost to Tennessee and it was a top 10 pick, it looked bad then. But right now, it doesn't look bad.
877-881-1053. Let's talk with Mike in Mesquite. Go ahead, Mike. You're on the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Hey, Brian, can I ask you a question? What are they trying to do with it? You say they can't do the job that the defense is asking them to do. What are they asking them to do? Poe don't penetrate. He don't stand up and read and go to the play.
Yeah.
What are they asking them to do?
Is it just Poe specific you want, or anybody else you want? I mean, I'm just saying. I think. Okay, to your point, Poe is not a pass rusher, but they're having him on the field like in 3rd down pass rush mode, like he's going to push the pocket. I saw where Neville Gallimore played today. I'm interested to see him because he's another one, and he's a rookie. He at Oklahoma he looked like a totally different player than the one that's playing right now. But I think with Poe, if you're putting him on the field to be a pass rusher on 3rd down or get pushed and he's not, that's on you. Maybe you don't have another option there. But I'm just talking about what they're doing with say Jalen Smith in coverage, he was spying tonight. I saw it. I was watching one of the runs that the quarterback had, and it was like, oh, Jalen Smith was spying. I'm like, was he? Okay. And then we've talked about Worley at corner. Right. If you're asking people to do stuff that they just can't do, that's my point. That's what I'm talking about with coaching.
Right. Asking Jalen Smith to spy a quarterback.
Yeah. And Jalen Smith, let him play downhill.
Right. Don't have him chasing a quarterback that runs a ridiculous 40-yard dash.
He'll embarrass a lot. He'll embarrass you a lot.
877-881-1053. Jerry is calling in from Delaware. Go ahead, Jerry. You're in the Dallas Cowboys postgame show.
How you doing?
What's going on, Jerry?
Yeah, just a frustrated Cowboy fan. Going back to what Brian was talking about, they can't change. He doesn't think they're going to change coordinators. How long do you give this defense? Don't you think we need to shake things up and maybe get Mike Nolan out of there? I mean, they're on pace to be one of the worst defenses ever.
It's still the same players. You think that? Okay,
come on, Brian. Come on. Now.
Okay, George Edwards would be a guy, right? Would you think George Edwards on staff has been a defensive coordinator? Right. Am I right about that?
True.
Yes. I think that's where that would maybe the direction that you would go. See, I don't know. I don't know if you put George Edwards in there and shake things up. Is that you still got the same players out there? Missing tackles, blowing coverages. Not fitting where they're supposed to fit. I understand shaking it up, but I think you are what you are. I really do.
Shake it up. I don't
think any help is going to come until maybe you get a Awuzie back, some of these corners back, so you don't have to play. Certain guys.
This team was not going to be good defensively going into the season. Like that's the thing. They were supposed to be good up front. You could make an argument that this team was in position to be pretty good up front. But then you lose Gerald McCoy, and now all of a sudden, the interior that you had and the pass rush that you thought you had, that takes a huge blow. You sign Everson Griffin, and the expectations are raised a bit there. But I just go back to preseason. I thought this team could win a Super Bowl if their defense is average, because going into the season, it wasn't a sure thing that this defense was going to be average. Leighton Vander Esch returned to the lineup today after suffering a collarbone injury in Week 1. Here is Leighton Vander Esch after the game as the Cowboys lose 38-10.
Like you've had some injuries that explain some performance issues overall as a team at this point. Is there any concern about mentally about how the group is handling this and getting discouraged or losing confidence in any way?
I feel like we're good mentally, but that's not really for me to say. I don't know how all the other guys feel really. I think the image is good. I think we've had good energy every single week. We just got to clean stuff up and play one snap at a time, 1 week at a time. It don't matter. We got to be 1-0 in the week that we're playing. Nothing else matters. We got to go out there, take the first down, take the second down, third down. We're 3 and out. Yeah, they're going to get some plays, but we got to be able to bow up as a defense. We got to take pride in that and stopping them and going after them play after play after play, because it's going to be a grind. It's not just going to be we're going to go out there and get 3 and out every time. Yeah, everybody would love that, but it's pro football. They're going to get theirs and we're going to get ours, but he's just going to get more of them.
When did you know you were going to play? Was this something that even going back to last week you thought you'd be back in this week?
Oh, I knew I was playing. This is my goal, to be back for this week. And things have gone great. Things have been smooth. Healing's been easy. But I've been doing a bunch of conditioning, a bunch of running, and obviously practicing full go this week and getting those reps. It was my goal to get back for this week, and that's what happened. So whether it be a little bit early or whatever it is, my body feels great.
What do you think this defense's identity is maybe today, and what do you hope that it can be? What are you guys striving for? What's the progress that needs to be made in terms of that defense's identity?
I think we need to continue to find our identity. I think we know what we want to do. We know what we want to be, but we got to have everybody in at one time. We got to be firing on all cylinders to do that. I don't know when it's going to happen. I think we're going to flip one of these times. We're going to keep progressing. That's about it. We got to progress.
Progressing.
We got to do things better. It's as simple as that. We got to communicate better. We got to run the ball better. We got to just keep doing everything better and not saying, okay, we're good in these areas, because we can improve in so many areas. We're doing good things. We just need to be more consistent. I think that's really all there is to it.
That's Leighton Vander Esch, who returned in this game but didn't really do much to help boost the defense. The offense didn't really do much to help boost the defense either. That continues to be an issue. Again, I mean, they lose 38-10, and the defense didn't play great, but Broadus, this just goes back to 2 possessions, 2 straight turnovers by Zeke Elliott, leads to 2 touchdowns, and your defense is keeping you in the game where your offense isn't early, and then the offense gets in the way of the defense, and that's just been the case all year. -12 in the turnover differential. That's -2 every game this season. 84 points off of turnovers. That is 14 points a game. They are giving the opposition 2 touchdowns every week off of turnovers. And they're 2-4. That's not as bad as they should be, given that. That's the craziest part.
Oh, my goodness.
877-881-1053. Let's talk to Rob.
That's crazy.
This is the exclusive.
It's crazy, man. I done messed up the chat over here. Laughing at those guys, man. So it's crazy, man, how we can do all of those things and hear all of those things. And that's just the bottom line, man. We are in trouble with these turnovers. We need takeaways.
You say, okay, this is something that we as a team did not believe, or as a staff, we did not believe. This is not a philosophy that we held dear. We said, I remember with Parcells, it's like the first year Parcells came, he wanted to run a 3-4 defense, but we didn't have 3-4 personnel. And he still said, okay, Mike Zimmer, one more year until I get personnel. And then he made Mike call 3-4 defense, and Mike had never done that in his life. And it was a top 10 defense. We just weren't very good on offense. But I think that as an organization, you have to sit down at the end of it and say, man, okay, this was a long year, and it was a long year because of this. And then you have to say, and then the scouts will have a better understanding, of what Mike and this group needs. And it might mean he has to change some coaches out. It surely means you're going to have to change some personnel out because, this season, as it's progressing right now, it's not going to be anywhere near good enough to where you have. So, you got to think about the draft, and you got to think about what we're going to do differently given the opportunity.
Brian Broadus, Ari Temkin, home to over 8,500 of your favorite electronic games, more than 1,000 table game seats, and 1,400 luxury hotel rooms. It's always a good time. The WinStar World Casino Resort, the official casino.
Y'all check out WinStar, world's greatest casino.
This game coming up next. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
All right, so I was talking about the fact that I did a video, and I think I found it somewhere around here. So I'm going to try to find that video and post it right quick. And bear with me, Cowboy Nation. Let me see. All right, Nation. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Going to talk about this Dak Prescott news since everybody got it on their feed and everything. And it is what it is. There is no new news to it. Yeah, y'all can hear it. It's just me talking, I guess.
Attempting
All right,
to
so I'm going to
sign
delete this one right
the
quick.
franchise tag.
Damn.
And that is
Thought
what
it was play the sound. So it didn't play the sound. So what I'm gonna have to do, just imagine me talking, and I'm gonna play it over here so you guys can hear it. And we're gonna have to figure this thing out, Cowboy Nation. We do. As soon as the video play, you guys should be able to hear it. But it's one of those things, man. Bam. And here we go. All right, Nation. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Going to talk about this Dak Prescott news since everybody got it on their feed and everything. And it is what it is. There is no new news to it. It's just me talking.
He's attempting to sign the franchise tag. And that is what we all expected him to do in the first place, to sign the franchise tag so that they can extend the negotiation period. Now, here's my thoughts on Dak Prescott. Collectively speaking, he should not play under the franchise tag. Let me repeat, he should not play under that particular franchise tag of $31 million because week 3 or week 6 he go down. Y'all know how this thing will work. A lot of this fan base would just turn on him so quick. I know. And they said, well, let's move on to the next quarterback. What leverage do we have out?
All right, so let me play it. Did you guys hear what I said? I said what I said, right? He shouldn't play.
Have outside of getting money in his hand for $31 million.
See? What leverage does he have after that? Once you play under that franchise tag, look, you can't negotiate with billionaires. You can't sit around here and negotiate with them. That's what I said, and that was about 7 months ago or whatever, 3-4 months ago, right before the season kicked off. I said, look, hey, it's good that they offered that franchise tag. They kind of squeezed them, painted them into the corner and said, okay, brother, you're going to play under that franchise tag, but we know what's going on with that. Anything can happen. A bird in your hand is better than two in the bush, but still, should never play under that franchise tag, So that's what I was coming at. That's what I was trying to say to people, man, is that, let me see if I can do it this way. There we go. Bam. See? I'm going to play it again for those who out there, because I'm not trying to say that I'm right or what have you. The boy, beer game was still okay during the time. It was okay. It was all right. Beer game was still, struggling beer game at the time. It was struggling a little bit. Let me see if I can go this way. Yeah. Play it again. Who's to it? It's just that he's attempting to sign the franchise tag. And that is what we all expected him to do in the first place, to sign the franchise tag so that they can extend the negotiation period. Now, here's my thoughts on Dak Prescott, collectively speaking. He should not play under the franchise tag. Let me repeat, he should not play under that particular franchise tag of $31 million, because week 3 or week 6 he go down. Y'all know how this thing will work. A lot of this fan base would just turn on him so quick. I know. And they said, well, let's move on to the next quarterback. What leverage do he have outside of getting money in his hand for $31 million? Now, I do know that, salary cap and everything, but. All right, so you guys get what I was saying, right? Let me know where I was lying at. And I'm not trying to be, Law was right. Dak Prescott went down week whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that guy. But what I'm saying is that everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, know that you can't bet on yourself 2 times. If they sitting there saying that they love you, they will figure out a way. If they figure out other things, then they would have figured it out then. So when Jerry Jones said the other day, I love Dak Prescott, and he's going to be our number 1 option to get this thing settled and done with, man, he's telling you the moon is made of cheese. And a lot of people are still flying up to the moon. And when they get there, they say, hey, this is nothing more than a rock. Man, you sold me that moon was made of cheese. Had me buying all of the rocket fuel, buying all of the jet stuff. I digress, man.
It's Bell.
Still on commercial break over here, so we still got good timing, man. Fresh Prince, do you see the deleted tweet from Daz? He said he wanted to draft Ramsey, Derrick Henry instead, and Ezekiel and Jalen because they played with passion. Instead of Ezekiel Elliott instead. Okay, so here's the situation, and that's going to get back to them. And Jalen, he really loved Dez Bryant because every time when the situation was the situation, he would throw up the X. And I recall Jalen Smith was the guy that said, okay, hey, Jerry, hey, Stephen Jones, go back out there and pick up Dez Bryant. He was cheerleading for Dez Bryant to come back to the team. Now, I don't know the Dez Bryant relationship with Ezekiel Elliott, but here's the situation. Ezekiel Elliott never been the same since, what's that guy named? Roger Goodell muddied the waters. Meaning that he played an entire year without being suspended. Then they come at him in 2017 to suspend him for what he allegedly done in college, what have you, with his said girlfriend or what have you, who said that, hey, he did this and he put hands on him and these sorts of things. And it was a crazy situation. Kia Roberts, the investigation lady, said, I see no fault in Ezekiel Elliott. There's nowhere to be charged. And they still suspended that man for 6 games. But it was on the field, off the field, on the field, off the field, not practicing for a week. Now he come back and it changed him. Remember Ezekiel Elliott, his rookie year, he was a happy-go-lucky guy. He was having the exuberance. He was all in the locker room doing all type of jokes, but he never been the same since then. Never, ever been the same. So we never know. But I can tell you that the Derrick Henrys of the world, right? Derrick Henry, he's a button-up up and straight and narrow guy. You know, he's not going to do all of the crazy stuff. And on top of that, shout out to Sanders' workout facility. Every off season, he come right down here to Texas and he work his butt off. It's no outside story. It's no big belly. Derrick Henry knows with him. He just a straight up button up type of guy. We missed on him. But Jalen Ramsey, I can only close my eyes and imagine Jalen Ramsey on one side and Byron Get Down Jones on the other. Oh, it would have been just, let me turn on this radio station, man.
Amari Cooper had to say after the Cowboys fall to the Cardinals.
Amari, what was the biggest struggle as far as getting the offense into a rhythm? We saw the early turnovers, but besides that, just trying to get that rhythm with Andy Dalton and the offense.
Obviously, with a new quarterback coming in there, it's going to be kind of hard, kind of difficult to get into that rhythm that we might have had with Dak because we only had 1 week to practice with Andy. But we just got to get back to the drawing board, get more comfortable with Andy being back there.
What has head coach Mike McCarthy been? What's the message that he's been sending to you guys with the start that you guys have gotten off to?
Everybody knows that we haven't been getting off to the greatest of starts. It's just like beating the drum, We know that we have to start fast, but it's not about the message that he's given us about not doing so. It's about us actually going out there and doing it. And until we do it, obviously he'll keep pounding it, keep trying to say whatever he can say to try to make things look different out there. But to me, it's just all about going out there and actually doing it.
I don't know if you were asked about the turnovers, but how difficult is it when you have some turnovers? You're trying to pick your teammates up and you're behind and you're trying to catch up. How hard is it just to overcome some of those things?
If you look at the statistics, you turn the ball over more than the other team, then the stats aren't in your favor. And that's something that we all know. We practice to create turnovers and to not turn the ball over every day in practice. But, obviously it's a part of the game, and we just have to be better as a whole.
Kalen was talking to us a little bit ago and said that the issues the defense is having is mentally. It's coming from the mental side of things. Do you feel like the turnovers, do you feel like some of the struggles of the offense, the slow start, that's mental as well?
Yeah, everything starts with the mental. Whether it's throwing an interception, fumbling the ball, dropping the ball, and having the defense intercept it, whatever it is. That all starts with the mental. Drop a ball and it creates a turnover, and you have to look the ball through. You have to remind yourself to do that. That's mental, and so forth and so on.
I got one more if I can. I know you want to win all these games, but when you look at the division, do you feel kind of fortunate that you are still in first place despite the fact you have 2 wins thus far?
Nah, it's hard to feel fortunate as a football team when the fortune is in winning and we're not doing that.
Good call.
The fortune is in winning and we're not doing that. Amari Cooper.
Oh, it's like, it's funny. Amari Cooper, I like the way he answers questions.
Mm-hmm.
He
actually thinks about his answers. He does.
He thinks about his answers, and it's not in a measured way, but it's a very intelligent way of. And I respect,
he's one of the most genuine people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, I respect that. Now you can criticize him for this, that, and he's not tough, and he doesn't do this, and why is he off the field, and he makes too much money, or wow, what a great catch. By the way, that second down catch he had the other day in the Giants game was huge. That conversion he had at the last drive, But I appreciate his focus on the issue. This is tough because none of us have answers. None of us have answers. Ezekiel Elliott doesn't have answers right now while he fumbles the ball.
Right. If he had an answer for it, he wouldn't be fumbling the ball so much.
Mike McCarthy doesn't have an answer. Even though he's the head coach, things he's doing for practice he thinks is helping his team.
And they're not.
And it's not. So now these to have answers and you don't have answers. It's easy when things are going along and you're winning, when you're losing and then you have to come up with what the whys. And then you're like, well, but with Amari, I feel like he always gives you a good answer for the whys, he's telling you, hey, Calvin Watkins asked him the question, you feel fortunate to be in first place? Fortunate. Really? Okay. Yeah.
Fortune is in winning.
Fortune's in winning. He's right. He really is.
Brian Broaddus, Ari Temkin with you on Twitter at Brian Broaddus. I am on Twitter at RA Sports, ARI Sports. 877-881-1053. Let's talk with Justin in Trucker. Go ahead, Justin. Justin is a trucker, I'd imagine. Instead, he's not calling from Trucker. He's just Justin the
Trucker's
trucker.
in California. A truckee in California.
Okay, Justin, are you calling in from Trucker or are you a trucker?
I am a trucker.
There we go. That makes sense.
Justin, the trucker.
There you go.
And thanks for taking my phone call. And my question or my point would be is, what is our role in this, the fans? I mean, we fill up the stadium. We buy the merchandise. We travel well. I mean, Brian, I met you in London at the pub. In London, we had fans come in from everywhere. We
sure did.
Not just the United States, from Canada, from all over the world. A couple that was sitting next to me were from Japan. I mean, we got Cowboys fans worldwide. We support this mess. And everybody knows Jerry Jones is an all-star businessman, family man, but he's not a good GM. When do they sit him down and say, it's time to find a real GM, and we need to start winning?
Do you think a real GM... Let me ask you a real question, my trucker friend. And do you think a real GM would make the difference here?
Jerry, where you at? There you go.
A real GM.
Well, look at the calls that you get.
Because one of my best friends got fired in Atlanta the other day, Tom Dimitroff. Tommy's one of my best friends in life, Thomas Dimitroff in Atlanta. And I think he's a really good GM.
He's a real GM.
He's a real GM. The guy at the Jets, Joe Douglas, know him well. He's a GM. I mean, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here, but is
Stephen Jones a real GM?
Well, see, but Stephen Jones and these guys, they've been on the job for 25 years now. And right or wrong, real GMs mess it up too. That's my point. Can I go next? I really do appreciate, because like I say, I've got a lot of friends. John Dorsey, he drafts the team basically in Kansas City and gets fired. Goes to Cleveland.
Did the Atlanta Falcons make it to the Super Bowl?
Real GM.
With that GM.
The real GM argument, does it make you feel better? Are you still there, man? You listening to me? Where'd he go?
Come on, Brian. Come on, man.
I think he
took off.
I think you're 100% correct.
Okay, I'm not trying to jump anybody here. No. But the Jones family's going to run this team, just like, because in 1989, Al Davis told Jerry Jones, "You don't need a general manager. You could be your own general manager." That was Jerry Jones's influence back in the day. But real GMs F this thing up too.
Yeah,
that's all I'm trying to say. Now, maybe you get lucky, How about David Morey down in Houston? That's a real GM, right? They said, that with the Rockets.
Brian.
Oh, I'm out. Bye. Real GMs screw this thing up sometimes.
Right, and you get coaches that have absolute power.
But not for 30 years.
Bill O'Brien.
For 30 years.
He was a GM and coach.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah. Howie Roseman, get in the closet, Howie. We don't need you here anymore.
But it's the 1995 thing, right? It's the idea of this team.
People get mad about that. And I don't blame them. I mean, trust me, I was a fan. I mean, my family season tickets for 20 years. Never saw losing football as a Cowboys season ticket holder. I get how pissed off people are. When I worked for the team, I had my own friends who were like, "What the hell are you doing, Broaddus? You're messing up our team." So I get it, but I don't know if a real GM, I don't know. Maybe a real GM would be good, but there's real GMs that jack this thing up too.
Would you say that? So Stephen Jones, you would not classify as a real GM because he can't be
I would
fired.
say they're not going to. The Jones family,
Right.
it's like the Rooneys in Pittsburgh, or they don't. Yeah, they have Kevin Colbert though, but the Rooney, there's families that run. The Brown family is the best example. In Cincinnati, people say, Broaddus, well, the Bengals suck, because they don't have a real GM. Yeah, could be the case.
Yeah.
Nobody, and the texts are saying, so what's the answer? I really don't know. That's what I'm saying.
It was the answer.
When you want to bust on the Jones family for the way they've run the team, there are real general managers out there that are doing just a bad job.
Thank you to Zach Rowe, Danny Hernandez, Alec Medford, Tim Collins, Peyton Russell, and the great Brian Broaddus. I am Amari Temkin. The Cowboys lose 38-10. Next week, it's a 9 a.m. start against the Washington football team with the pregame show. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
I mean, yes, real GMs do mess up. They lay the egg. But I think that if somebody can just paint the picture to Jerry Jones and say, hey, Jerry, it's feeling good when you can just be the owner. You don't have to be the owner and GM. Meaning that, hey, if you could just be the owner and put your foot to the neck of the GM to get the job done, it's better that way. You know? It feels good sometimes when you tell, hey, clean up the room over there. You know? When you direct and start doing stuff like that. Hey. It's your week to clean the kitchen. Clean the kitchen. To point the finger and tell them to do it, right? And then as the owner, he can still have his input. But when you have pride, Cowboy Nation, when you want all of the credit, and you want everything. Look, Robert Kraft over there, he said, okay, hey, although, they ain't winning this year, but at least he can sit back and say, hey, I don't have to do anything but hold the Lombardi trophy up at the end of the year. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong, Cowboy Nation. There's nothing wrong with sitting back saying, hey, y'all get this stuff done over here. Y'all get that done over here. Hey, because right now, Law Nations, the people that's listening, a real owner would have fired this GM, right or wrong. Let me know if I'm lying. I think they closed out, man. It's about to be 1 o'clock, man, so I'm going to last all the way to 1 o'clock. But I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on everything. Well, listen to 105.3 The Fan and get feedback from them. I tell you what, I've been live for 1 hour and 45 minutes, okay? So what I'm going to do now, if possible, I'm going to try to open up the phone lines if possible. Remember this, you got about a minute because I can't stay much longer. I got to, get some shut-eye. I got to find me something to eat and all that good stuff. And we've been putting the grind in this thing, right? But it's one of those things, Cowboy Nation, whereas we going to have to iron this thing out, man. We do. We going to have to figure this thing out, too. 682, give me time to set up the phone lines and speak your mind. Don't hold back. I'm going to give you about a minute to 2 minutes, depending on, how the conversation go. Give me a few seconds. And if you guys are listening in from a Facebook page, unfortunately, this is pre-recorded. So I had people call me back to back, say, hey, I can't get in. Yeah, you got me on block. No, I don't block anybody unless they say something crazy. It was already pre-recorded. So, but the line, you can always text. And think about it. When you leave a voicemail message, don't put your number on there because I might use your voicemail message on my next show, and I can't use it if you have your phone number. Like, hey, I'm not going to put your personal information out there on the websites. So that's the phone number. 682-214-4087 is the number. That's the hotline for your mind. Here you go. You got it on the screen there. And speak your mind. I know it's late. I know a lot of people looking at it like, man, I'm finna get some shut-eye. We lost, man. I really don't want to talk to nobody about it, But that's just how it goes from right here. And 682-214-4087. Or if you guys don't want to call that, let me know. Pats lost to a crappy Broncos team with Cam. Yeah, it's from Def Court, nerd. Well, it's not over with yet for them. That's the reality of it. They still got a long way to go. 702, you're live.
What's up, Big Law? How you doing, man?
Man, it's your world, man. Talk to me, man.
Man, it's just the frustration building with this team, man. I just feel like we always come behind the 8 ball. Mm-hmm. The defense started off beautifully, setting us up for success. Mm-hmm. And I just don't understand the turnovers that just give the opposing team new life. I just don't understand, and it's so frustrating to watch this team. And since our last Super Bowl when I was years old,
And, man, it's just frustrating. I just don't know where to start, what to do. I'll just help me. Help me cope, bro. Help me cope.
Well, we are number one in our division, right? And we play in the piss poor division. And it could be a situation whereas we probably not win any primetime games because it's just what Andy Dalton's record is in primetime. He's like 6 for 24, 6 for 28 or something like that. Somebody can fact check that. So my thing is maybe they did put Ben DiNucci out there for a cup of tea. It wouldn't need a full cup of coffee or anything. So hopefully, man, next week, they're going to start off with Andy Dalton again, and we'll see what they can do, the corrections from there.
I feel you on that. I appreciate you answering my call, man. And I just want all the haters to understand this is what you wanted. That would at least put us in this game, in the position. We can't hide the ineptitude because this defense is trash. Period. We can't hide the ineptitude, but at least our quarterback would have been a warrior in this sense and would at least try to combat the adversity that we've had to overcome. But I just don't think Andy was ready for that stage. And it's, man, in the line, when Zach left, it was all systems go, pin the ears back. Buda Baker had the best game of his life. It was disgusting. I was like, come on, man, let me get up in there. I'm 5'8". You know what I mean?
Let you get up in there.
Let me get up in there. Let me try to protect. You know what I mean? Let me try to protect the quarterback. But I can't pin it all on Andy because he's not Dak. But at the end of the day, it was like, man, he had no help, and there was no way for him to overcome the situation with the early turnovers. And we got to fix that somehow.
Appreciate you, though, dog, man. I really appreciate you from the 702, man. Thank you for calling in, brother.
All right, Big Law. Take care, bro.
Really appreciate you, man. Good call from the 702. Let me see if I get him a war call for the next person to call in. Here we go.
This is Sparta!
702, man. Really appreciate you, man. 682-214-4087 is the number. Like I said, if you guys call in, there's no queue to hold numbers. Unfortunately, this is how the setup is. But you can always leave a voicemail or you can text that number, 682-214-4087. All right, so we got 713. You're live.
Oh, Lord, it's your boy Eastside, man. How you doing,
Eastside, man. How you feeling, man? How you feeling over there, man?
For some odd reason, I feel a lot better, man. I don't know what it is, man. I just I got a rejuvenation.
Why you got a rejuvenation?
For the nation. Man, you ever heard the saying "misery loves company"?
Yeah.
So, hey, man.
Hold on. Before you get into the details, I got to give some. I got to set the table. Eastside Harold is a Texan fan. Shout out to the Texans, right? Where do you guys stand at in your division?
We might be last. We might be third.
How many games did you guys win?
Sir, we got one.
Oh, okay. But how many? Hold on. I just want to put it out there. How many games do the Cowboys done won? How many games the Cowboys done won?
I think it's a whopping 2. I'm not quite for sure. I think it's a whopping 2. I don't know.
You know what I did? You know what I did in class? I always sat beside the pretty ladies to get the answer. So I don't know which number is greater. Is 2 is greater than 1? Because I sat beside the pretty ladies and they said, "Hey, here you go, Law. Is 2 greater than 1?"
Law.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, you're right, sir. You're right. You are.
Am I right? Am I right? Right? Are those facts? Are those truths?
Yeah, right, sir. But hey, let me ask you a question, sir.
Go talk to me.
Texans played 2 undefeated teams plus KC and the Ravens. What's your excuse?
Hold on. Are you lamenting the fact that those are excuses, right?
I'm asking, what's your excuse? We played 2 undefeated teams and the Ravens and Kansas City. Why do you guys just have 2 wins?
Why we have 2 wins?
For 6.
Because because that is the status quo of our division. We are well, like I said, we are number one in our division. Right now, we doing okay.
You feeling good about this? You feeling good?
At the end of the day, we undefeated in our division. We haven't lost a division
You feeling
game.
good right now? After what you just
hey, I'm just trying to get positive all the way out of it. You know, I'm feeling good that we in first place. You see, the devil, you ain't finna take my joy right now. You know.
Hey man, hey brother, I just came to touch base with you, man, because I watched Kyler Murray. I didn't even know Kyler Murray was from Dallas.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. Hey man, he came home and put on a show. That man I got a newfound respect for the man. I took him for granted in the draft. I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work out.
So he's better than Deshaun Watson, huh?
No, I ain't say all that, man. Let's not get crazy now.
Man, what else you got for the show, man, before I let you go, man? What else you got for the show, man? What else you got to tell everybody?
Hey, man, I just came to touch base with you. Hey, brother, we in the same boat. Hey, brother, misery love company, brother. We looking like the same thing, man. It's a Texas thing.
Boy.
And,
I know you like Derrick Henry, don't you?
Man, Derrick Henry the best back in the league, man.
No doubt.
He done proved that. Yeah, I give him my respect. Hey, he the best back in the league, man. He took that
but
spot.
I really appreciate your East Side, man. Really appreciate your support,
okay,
man.
hey, man.
Salute,
hey, brother. I'm just letting you know I'm still here. All you Dallas fans that was looking for me.
I'm looking for you. I said, man, check out my dog East Side Harold. You know, I was gonna give you that prevention line, but I'm glad that you are speaking over here, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Salute. Good call from you, man. Good call from him, man. 682-214-4087 is the contact hotline to get down line. Let's go, man. He hating. Yeah. Bree says y'all 832, what's new?
How you doing, Law?
No, man, it's your world, man. Talk to me.
Not much, man. First of all, I just want to go out and say that we're playing like hot garbage right now. It's a dumpster fire right here in Dallas right now.
Oh my goodness. But talk to me though. We playing like hot fire garbage, you know.
Says they are. They're more competitive than we are on the defensive side of the ball.
True,
now, I think the Joneses are going to have a tough decision if we end up getting a top 5 pick. They're going to have to decide if they're going to want to blow this thing up or if they're going to proceed with this same team. I mean, I feel like a lot of these players got the mentality of everything's easy peasy. Nobody's going to get in trouble if they don't make the tackle, if they don't. I mean, you heard what that man said the other day to the media that they can't play hard the whole game. Like, man, back in the day, if you said that and Jimmy Johnson found out, you were cut from the team.
You're right. Man, you ain't telling no lies over there, man. You spitting nothing but the truth. You spitting so much truth over here, I need to open up an umbrella, man. But here's the reality of it. We got Andy Dalton in the center. We got the wide receivers who look like the shell of themselves all of a sudden. We got a porous offensive line, and Ezekiel Elliott, he can't fall without dropping the ball, right? So can this be fixed in a week? I don't think so. Is the Eagles' front four is nasty? Yes, they are. The secondary is their weak point, I believe. But they playing under a situation where they got some good defense. They got an inspired running back. I think that he got injured or what have you, named Sanders. I mean, right now he's the guy that's really the heartbeat of their team, and they got a guy named Falcom. You know what I'm saying? They're catching everything that's thrown his way and literally looking down and yet saying his last name again. You know, so
and they got them 2 tight ends too. I mean, I know they got hurt.
They banged up. Yeah.
At least they got that cornerback, Darius Slay. You know, he used to be a dog. At least they got somebody that ain't scared to match up with these receivers that these other receivers can respect. Now, I mean, I don't know, Law. I mean, I don't see it get any better. I think the coach done lost the team. I think the team is already – I think he lost the team already. I mean, I know it's still early, but the way the demeanor of the team is, the way they're playing all nonchalant. Like, they really don't care. I mean, I think the team's already lost.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. Yeah, Dak is the heartbeat of everything. But what else you got for the show, man? You putting too much facts out there, man. Hurting my feelings a little bit about this team.
I just got to be honest, man. I mean, I'm a fan just like you. I'm a diehard fan.
Yeah.
And I'm getting tired of getting on these shows, and every day our division's the laughing stock of the NFL right now. And especially the Cowboys, because Jerry Jones be the main one running his mouth. And I'm tired of hearing him talk about, we like the guys that we got in the building. Like, what do you like about them? I mean, do you like losing? Is that what it is? Is that why we haven't made any changes? And I agree with you 100%. We need a GM because the owner can fire the GM.
Right.
You know, if he's not doing his job, we can't fire Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if he have a perfect GM, at least we point the blame somewhere else, because Jerry Jones, he's old, and we be looking like, man, we'll feel bad if the next few days we wake up and this man croaked out or something like that. Not putting that on him, but we have no choice but to go at his neck because of the way this team is looking. It's not looking good right now.
In order to give this coach a real chance, I think we're gonna have to blow up the team, because a lot of these players have that mentality of before, where nobody was held accountable for anything. And I mean, I blame the coaching staff, but to a certain extent, I mean, this isn't his personnel 100%. So I can see them blowing it up in the offseason. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't win another. We might win another 1 or 2 games, and that's it. We ain't gonna clean house on Washington or the Giants or the Eagles. I mean, I don't see that. We were struggling with the Giants, and we had Dak. Man, come on, Lord, you know this.
But we gotta wait. We gotta wait and see though, because I hate to give anybody in this division praises. It cut me so many multiple ways when I started saying about that front four of the Eagles and everything. But it's the truth. But I can't wait to see him when we see him, though. But I appreciate you for calling in, brother.
Thank you, Lord. I appreciate you taking my call. Take care.
No doubt.
This is Sparta!
Yeah, 682-214-4087. That's the hotline for your mind. Let me get another caller in, man. Y'all talk to me, man. Y'all talk to the nation, because this is bad right now. Shout out to Brianna Betty, man. I see you. Y'all follow her page. Great content, man. Follow it up. 240, what do you know? You're live, 240. Okay, I feel you. Somebody call in. 682-214-4087. Y'all hit me up. The hotline for your mind, right? There's some positives out of this, right? There's some positive out of this game. Tony Pollard look good, right? I'm afraid our season is toast. Is it from Cassie? Yeah, I feel you. 202, you're live.
Yo, what's up, Law?
Talk to me, man.
I just want to say one thing that not a lot of people are talking about. There's one person on the team that he's a cornerback for a living, and he is horrible at it. And I'm gonna go to Daryl Worley. If you notice, we have a pretty bad secondary, but it's not all bad. Trayvon Diggs, he we're gonna get out of him. He's gonna give up some plays, but all those plays, well, we don't know how he's gonna play against like wide receivers that are not elite wide receivers, because he's played elite wide receivers almost every single week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's played Julio Jones, D-Hop, and he's played Julio Jones, D-Hop, and DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all pretty strong receivers, and the same play happens over again. They just throw contested balls at him, and I don't think he's a rookie, so he's not strong enough to be knocking the ball out. Established strong big body receivers like those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but it's a crazy situation though, man. But go ahead.
But I don't fault Trayvon for that, because he's a rookie. Obviously, he's gonna develop that strength over the time. Like when he gets to that point in his career, like at that Tre'Davious White point in his career, that elite cornerback point in his career. But my point is, nobody is talking about how every time we play a team, their second receiver gasses us, and the reason for that is we have Daryl Worley, which might be the worst cornerback in football throughout the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, the way he flip his hips, and it's so robotic, right? So stiff at the hips. and then you can see that loss of motion, And even when he, when he try to jam his cylinder, he don't keep his cylinder inside, and he misses the jam or what have you, and you see that his footwork, his feet is just all everywhere. I'm really gonna have to do a dig deep on one of the film sessions on him. Another thing is, you mentioned Tre'Davious White. He came out, from LSU, and his first year wasn't that great. But what the Bills done from that time frame, they had that front four, right? They invested in that area, which created more pressure, and they always had a legitimate safety over the top. I think that with that, not trying to say that Diggs is trash or horrible without that, but you would see a better Diggs if we had a reliable safety over the top, and if the front four was creating a little bit better pressure, right?
I think Trayvon Diggs just needs to develop as a player by himself, because I think cornerback is one of those positions that you can thrive at cornerback with a bad team, kind of how like Byron Jones did. Like Byron Jones was never a cornerback to give up like 150 yards to one receiver or nothing like that. I know a lot of people don't like Byron Jones, but I see a lot of Byron Jones is still a top 10 cover cornerback, and that's very hard at the NFL level.
Let me give you this the stat right quick. Byron Jones, they only attempted to throw the ball his way for 10 attempts, right? They only caught the ball. The receiver caught the ball only 5 times for 41 yards. That's all he gave up for the entire year this year. And I know he's been banged up or what have you, but since he's been playing in Miami land, and they're not winning a ton of games there, but he only gave up 41 yards. I think we'll trade that right now, right?
I wouldn't trade that for Trayvon Diggs because it's way more upside than Trayvon Diggs.
Right, but we would like to see Trayvon Diggs in conjunction with a Byron Jones, right? If you were to have the two, yeah.
Yeah, but I just think so. Like every time we've been beat really bad this season, it's either been by the team's second wide receiver or the running game. Mm-hmm. The Rams game, the second wide receiver, where's the receiver? He's not Robert Woods.
Yeah,
he torched us. Tyler Lockett torched us. OBJ torched us. Even though a lot of people think he's a one, he's really the second wide receiver on the Browns because Jarvis Landry really takes the X. Really, because that's why Trayvon Diggs is really not following him, but really staying on his side of the field for most of that game. And let me go back. Oh yeah, and Calvin Ridley. How did I forget that?
Oh yeah,
Calvin Ridley torched us. And those are all number 2 wide receivers that all torched us, and that's a constant pattern. Which is, I mean, is that just me or am I reaching right there?
Nah, man, but I'll break it down a little bit further into details, maybe on the next film session. But I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling in from the 202.
No problem.
I'll give you a war call for that. Appreciate you.
This is Sparta!
All right, one more call, and I'm going to run out of here. 682-214-4087. We are in the overtime with Law right now because I got to go. 409 for your mind. Speak it. Speak it.
No, man, but I'll break it down a little bit further.
Yeah, turn your radio down. You're live, 409.
What's going on, Law?
Nothing to it, man. It's your world. Talk to me.
Look here, man. I'm a Eagles fan, born and raised in Texas. Man, I ain't called to talk no trash. I got a lot of problems of our own, of course. What bothers me is most of my family, Law, and I watch your show. You're one of the best Cowboy content guys out there, and I appreciate that.
Appreciate it, bro.
Look, Law, I know you're an old football player. You're an old dog. What gets me about Cowboys, other content creators, and most of my family and friends are Cowboy fans. And even last year, I heard them talking about giving up just to get rid of, playing badly and tanking just to get rid of Garrett. Now I hear them talking about tanking to move up in the draft. Come on, Law. If you're a dog, man, if you got any heart at all, you don't tank for no reason. That's just soft. That's being real soft.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you speaking truths right there. Yeah.
And I don't know if you hear it or not from some of your colleagues or some of the fans, but Come on, man. We're 6 games into a season, and you talking about tanking to get a draft pick?
Right.
Tanking to get rid of a coach last year? That just shows me that you got at least a fan base, if not players, that are just soft and don't have any heart. And I got a team full of them too, up in Philly. But I just don't get that. Being an ex-player myself, I didn't go far. I played in JUCO, but you just don't play not to win. I don't know what that is. Maybe you can explain that to me some. And I'm gonna get off so I can let somebody else talk.
No
and
doubt, man.
I appreciate you talking to an Eagles fan, man. Like I say, I'm surrounded by Cowboys fans down here in Texas. I just love football, but that tanking or not playing, man, I just don't get that, man.
Yeah, man. And what's your name, fam?
My name's Larry.
Larry, man, really appreciate you
man.
from the 409, man. I'm gonna answer that question now, but appreciate you, bro. Thank you for calling.
All right, Law. Keep up the good work, Law.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Salute, bro. Good call from him. Larry.
This is Sparta!
You know why I give him a Spartan call? It's because of the mentality. I always tell people right now, we can't have that defeat of mind. We can't have that mentality where we're going to tank and we're going to try to get. Because the people, when you tank, don't you know what happened? You don't clear off the entire team. You still be tainted with somebody who gave up, somebody who quit, somebody who was not built to last. Now, all of a sudden, when everything is good, now they're going to fight? No, life doesn't work that way. You learn more from your failures, right, than your success. So with the mindset with some of the fan bases saying, we should tank. We should tank for Trevor Lawrence, right? Trevor Lawrence, we draft him. He get twisted up week 2, week 3. Now what you going to do, huh? You did all of that tanking for him, and you don't know what you got, right? So you shouldn't play that way. You should play through the echoes of the whistle. That's why we were so mad, collectively speaking, when Xavier Woods came out and said what he had to say about, hey, you don't play 100% and 100% of the time. Well, guess what? Newsflash. He would never, ever get the salary or the paycheck that Buda Baker just got. Know why? Because Buda Baker doesn't say those type of things. Buda Baker doesn't give up on plays. Buda Baker make plays. He figured things out. That's why he got paid his coins. He said, okay, coach put me down inside the box. I'm flying off to get to the quarterback. Okay, the ball is 5 yards ahead of me. I'm going to jump that route because I trust and I identify with the system and the scheme and also with my studying of the game of where this quarterback is trying to go with the ball. I've written this thing out in my mind. That is what you do. That is how you play. That is why he got 59 million. Yes, I know people going to say, well, Law, he making more money than you. That's good. That's cool. But still, the reality of it is that you never put things out like that, Xavier Woods, because now that echoes throughout the chambers of the minds to everyone that, hey, this guy's giving up. This guy's not built for it. And that's what trickles down. The enabling from the owner to the general manager, who is the owner, from the general manager to the general manager's son, saying, okay, we trust our guys because they got emotions involved into it. As the general manager, you coordinate the coaches out there. You coordinate the scouting personnel. As the general manager, you watching film, believe it or not. The general manager sitting up there looking at film, saying, okay, this guy whiffed on a play. This guy didn't fight through. That's what a general manager is supposed to do. And I don't want to hear a soul sitting there saying that Will McClay is actually the general manager. Don't give me the title. Well, don't give me the position without the title. That's like me saying, okay, I'm an analyst, and I go into the job, and they got janitorial supervisor, and I'm supposed to be the analyst. I'm telling everybody, hey, man, I'm the analyst at this job, but my name tag says janitorial supplies. You know, not talking about anybody that work in those type of jobs. That's a good job, as an earnest living. But what I'm saying is that don't give me the job, but without the title. And I wish Will McClay has a set of those, what you call in between your legs, and say, Jerry, I was doing this for you, but I can't do it no more. You're stubborn, and your stupidity and your claim to everything is sullying everything. I'm gone. I'm going somewhere where I know for sure where I can say I earned this position. But he might be paying him under the table, right? Jerry, hit your boy up. Pay me under the table then. All right, so I can't end the day with an Eagles call. I can't. So 682-214-4087. Somebody call in so I can get on out of here. I can't end it with an Eagle call. I appreciate you for calling in, though, but I can't end it, Larry. Larry, I appreciate you for calling in, but somebody call in. Shout out to everybody, man. Let's go. Somebody call in. Respect to you, man. Shout out to you, Sava, man. Really appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. Y'all can tell I love this team. 803, you're live. Talk to me, 803. You're live on the Nation.
What's up, Law, man? Thanks for having me on, man.
Yes,
man,
indeed.
I just want to just say for everybody, man, look, man, Cowboy Nation, let's calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's calm down. We didn't say, man, well, we had, 20 years of this whole thing, man. So, hey, look, man, we should be kind of used to it.
Right.
Like the previous caller said, man, I mean, we only 6 weeks in, man, and people want to talk about tanking this and doing all this. I'm like, come on, man. Look, first of all, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you already know what time it is, okay, for one thing. All right, and that's not saying that, we expect a failure, anything that we're proud of it. No, but you just settle down and just try to, settle down, think about this thing and try to salvage the season, man. And Zeke, help me. I feel as though he should have been benched. They should have
the
benched
entire
him,
game,
you
right?
know,
Right.
Yeah, benched him.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. I mean, he's a quote unquote, but guess what? That sends a message saying that, okay, hey, man, look, yeah, we paying you $90 million and you're 2-1 and this right here and you feed me and all this stuff, man. But you too can be benched, man. And it should. I guess the whole thought process behind it was to send a reverberation of a message saying that, hey, man, you got to play for this thing, man. I mean, it's like these guys get to the star, man, and they just, man,
But you remember this? You remember this right here? Players back in the days, in the days, when a player fumbled like that, and the coach still have him playing, and the general manager, because the general manager normally sits in the suites. You will literally see him make a phone call. And you ever seen the player go to the sideline?
Oh, yeah.
They pick up the phone like, yeah, and that would be actually, but people don't know this. That'll actually be the general manager saying, hey, we're going to have to bench you for the entire game.
Hey,
that was a horrible situation.
There it is.
This is my call. I'm the general manager. Not even the coach on the field. Coach still like you, but this is the general manager. My job is on the line. So you're going to sit out the entire series. And we don't get that. We don't get that phone call.
No, man. No, man. Why? Because Jerry, our beloved Jerry, he, it's all about, ticket sales and jersey sales and what kind of look is that? He's not thinking about this kind of stuff, man. And it just saddens me, man, a whole lot. And I just don't. It's one of the things. I guess it's almost. And I'm a patriot. I'm an African American, but I love my country here. But it's almost like just trying to live in the United States, man. I'm not I'm not an anti. One of these persons that denies my citizenship or anything like that. None of that, but it's like, man, hey, man, what can you? Hey, we own this land, man. We here. We just got to ride this thing out, man, because we can't do it. We can do some things, but man, our hands are kind of tied, man. Our hands are kind of tied, man. we just gotta kind of just play the hand we've been dealt with, man, and just try to make the best of it. Just kind of hang in there, man. I mean, who knows? I mean, we're in the NFC East, man. A lot of people say eat least. I don't like that, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it just is what it is. It is what it is, man. You know. Hey, it's almost like affirmative action, man. Hey, I'm not proud of it, man, but affirmative action got me first place in our division, so to say. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. We just got to capitalize on it, man, and just keep hope alive, man, and don't be so downcast. You know, yes, tough loss, man, but hey, man, it could have been a whole lot worse, man.
No doubt, man. But I appreciate you, man, for calling in. What's your name again, fam?
Hey, I'm Cody, man.
Cody, man. Really appreciate you, man, from the 803. You was the last caller of the day, man, or the night. Appreciate you, man. Salute,
yes,
bro.
Sir. All right, beautiful, man. All right, take care, man. All right.
That's a good call, man. Great points from him. He was the final call of the day. Y'all saw my God of War. Y'all know what time it is. But I will say this. Even though things seems grim, don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim, right? Hey, I'm going to tell you this right quick. Tell me not in mournful numbers. Life is but an empty dream, for a soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, and life is earnest, and the grave is not his goal. Dust they art, to dust returneth, was not even spoken of the soul. And this world's broad fields of battle and bivouacs of life. Be not like a dumb-driven cattle, Cowboy Nation, but keep your head up, and fighting chances will suffice. Lives of great men all remind us we can live our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the mighty sands of times. Let's go, Cowboy Nation, one way or another. Let's go. Let's go. My phone number off here. Let's go. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. I want to see some fire emojis. We may be down. We came out with a loss. Right now, the Arizona Cardinals might think they just won the Super Bowl, right? The Eagles are having the nerve and the audacity and the tenacity to come over here and spit some noise when they still looking up. That's the craziest thing of it all. The Giants looking up. The Washington team is looking up. That's okay. Let me blow my fire out right quick so I can see y'all fire. We gonna get this thing back, Cowboy Nation. Don't worry about it. Don't fret now. Because right now, those who standing firm with this team, we still have great pride. It could be as stubborn as this guy right here. Let me pull him up because you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Here we go. It could be as stubborn as this guy right here. It could be as grim as this guy right here. But newsflash, I know I was a fan of the team before he even bought the team. He might have bought the team financially, but I'm bought into this team emotionally. I'm bought into this team without a fear, without a shadow of a doubt that every single day I'm looking at Cowboys news. I'm looking at Cowboys chances and opportunity to uplift this situation. I'm sitting here looking at Cowboys situation and saying, hey, let's go get this guy or let's go get that guy, right? They can do whatever they want, but I'm still supporting this team. It's what I bleed, baby. It's what I bleed. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Where is it?
This is Sparta!
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. It's all good, baby. We still die hard Cowboys fan. DC for life, baby. Let's go. We still first place, baby. Let's go. We still on the field right now, right? We'll be still saying Cowboys, hit something, right? It is what it is.
This is Sparta!
We out, baby. We out.